have a lab. Where am I gonna do mine?
You don't have a lab yet, but anyway, I'm
I can
recording
do it
now.
on my lore channel.
All right, so
Alright.
this is a follow-up to the best anime character tier list. It's a follow-up, and I'm not going to say it's the greatest because mine's shit. I'm gonna just put that out there.
They
We have a
can't
total
lead
of
with the self-roast. That's our job.
the day I'm recording this is also my birthday, but
Happy birthday.
happy birthday to me. So yeah, let's have this loser talk about his top 50 anime characters on his birthday. However, it's gonna be more than that because I have a total of 65 characters because 15 of them are honorable mentions.
Holy moly.
Now I'm going to lay down a few ground rules because I got some comments. A cat. In the last one. These are only from series that I have watched personally, and I've only chosen 3 at most from each series. Some of them are
Yeah,
going to be the same from Maka's list. Some of them are not. This is my list. Don't critique
he called
it.
me out. I
I'll
definitely should have. I should have watched Berserk by now or read it.
he
I'll
called
get
you.
on
Yeah,
it.
he did call you out. He did call you out. But anyway,
I'm definitely slacking.
we're gonna start with the honorable mentions. I'm gonna start with the bottom 3 for honorable mentions because they're all from the same series. They're all from Pokemon.
Oh, the honorable mentions are like
dang.
order.
Wait. Okay. Is it Holucha?
No, but that's a great
Imagine
one.
it's literally just all lucha.
So we're gonna start with
Lucha, lucha.
2 of them are the same as Maka's, so we're gonna do not that Paul.
He did it again.
Not that Paul, but Paul from Pokemon. PKMN. Oh, god damn it. Paul from Pokemon. There he is. We got Brock. And then the third one is Selena. Y'all hear, right? You guys hear me? Hello? Am I having a stroke? Hello? Hang on one second. Bro, I think my shit just shit the bed. Oh, fuck. What the fuck is this? Hello? Can you hear me?
Hey.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, so it wasn't me?
Look at that. Look at that shit. No route.
What the heck?
Anyway,
Okay. Just delete all this crap.
what do you mean? Oh, her name is Serena, that's why.
So Serena? She's this high? I'm surprised she's even honorable. Oh wait, no, you like Serena. That's
So,
right.
alright.
That's
Alright,
right.
shut up.
Oh,
Shut up.
God.
Shut up. Let me explain why.
Go ahead. Stand your girl.
In
Where's everybody?
hold on. What the fuck did I just get kicked out? Hello?
Oh,
Brother.
okay.
Bro, you
really
scared the shit out of me, Iron. Don't do that.
Why? What happened?
You made an entire fucking voice call thing, and then everyone went quiet. I didn't know what was going on. You moved us all here. Don't touch me. How about that? Anyway, Serena.
Difficulties.
I have to
Gotta
explain
press
myself
moment.
with Serena.
No,
She is on the honorable
Oh.
mentions list because she actually provides more to Ash than any other character does in Pokemon. Backstory. Ash actually has a backstory in Kalos. Go figure.
And then it conveniently gets forgotten.
And then it conveniently gets forgotten. Yes, but it's there. It's there,
Or
and
is
Serena
it?
provides a lot to it. Not to mention, it's
Or
one of the only
is
canon
it?
relationships that Ash actually has. So that's why Serena's in the honorable mentions list. She actually provides a lot to him, and
Sure.
she does a good job. And she's not Iris, so.
Bro,
Hi.
don't do that to me.
she's precious.
Okay.
Hi.
Next,
Also, you might want to
on-
like do like the dash then the character before you search them, just so they're all like, unless you don't care about putting the honorable mentions actually in here.
I don't really care about the honorable mentions. I'll do it for the
Okay.
next one. Though. The next honorable mention is from Overlord,
Ooh, is Shaltier?
Albedo.
Oh, I'll be right.
Albedo.
Albedo.
Nympho.
Nothing really much to say other than like she's one of the more memorable characters from Ainz's posse
Entourage.
squad.
Entourage.
Yeah. Speaking of Shaltier, she's also in the honorable mentions.
Hey. Okay. I haven't seen Overlord yet. So I
These
can't
two
really-
are the most prominent members of the Bro, why is everything getting deleted from my lab? What are you doing?
Oh, I did that because I thought you were just
Oh, I see.
because that's how we did.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
that's how
got
we
you.
did
I
it
got
last
you. I
time.
got you. So,
Yeah.
We're under attack.
Shouthier. She ain't bad. Definitely baity, but you know, she's one of the more memorable characters from the cast. And I did watch this show, so I enjoyed it. Shoutier was very nice fight between Ainz and Shoutier. It was pretty cool. But anyway, I'm gonna just keep moving on because I have a lot to cover. The
The
next
boss.
honorable mention is from Helsing.
Sing Alucard?
Alexander Anderson.
Sarantegra.
Oh, okay. I was about to say if I'd be
Uh,
surprised if
Sir
Alucard's this
Integra
low.
or
It's not Sir Integra. It's Integra Fairbrook, Wingate Helsing. This
Yeah,
bitch is
it's Sir.
badass.
It's Sir Integra.
Yeah, she is so cool. She is just so cool. She is the manliest woman I've ever had to
It was
lay eyes on.
About to comment on the okay.
She is actually insane. She exudes big boss energy. That's just kind of the reason why I like her. And another Helsing
like
character.
Metal Gear Big Boss.
Oh.
Another Helsing character is Walter, but not the Shin Megami Tensei Walter,
Walter.
the Butler Walter. Walter C. Donnie.
Dorn isn't Dorn is?
You could just do this. Yeah, that. Walter
It
C.
is Dorn
Dornes.
is. I remember
Doorknob.
Dorn.
There he
Yeah,
is.
Walter is the coolest butler I think I've ever seen.
Hmm.
So his main shtick is he uses the wires.
Yeah.
And he's just a total masochist. Like he's not a masochist.
Oh.
What am I talking about? He's a total
Sadist?
psychopath.
Oh,
Absolute
okay.
psychopath.
So basically like every other character in Hellsing.
Yeah, pretty much. But he has like a giant revenge quest against Alucard, and he had to serve under him for a while to get to where he was in order to kill him. So that's kind of why I like it. It was like a giant thing. Plus, he gets younger for some reason. I don't know why. I just thought it was cool.
Schrödinger
Might-
bullshit.
Might
Okay.
watch Hellsing at some point.
Yeah, Helsing is
I did
cool if you
watch
like
the
blood.
abridged, but like
I
I
only
probably
watched-
should watch
Next
the
honorable mention is from Dr. Stone.
yeah, I expected
There's
that
no
to
way
show up.
Senku is this low. There's
hell
no way.
It's
Is it
Kohaku.
Chrome?
Okay.
Not this
Huh.
Kohaku. I hate this. This
Saber
motherfucker.
face.
Kohaku. I can do it, Iron.
Okay.
Chill out. This is my list. It's
Yeah.
DS,
Well, I
right?
guess
It's just DS. Shut, Iron, I'll kill you. I will end your life.
Kill you. And
What?
then kill
Bruh.
you. Oh my god!
Just look
Just
out
do
the
the IMA.
list.
Oh, there's a period.
God,
Of
I
course
got,
there's
bro.
a
I got
period.
punctuated.
Of course there's a period. She's
So
the
yeah,
girl. What?
Kohaku.
Oh my god!
She's like a ninja. She's pretty
Is
cool.
she the freaking? Oh wait, no.
No.
That's all
This
of
is
them
her
that have
sister.
them?
This is her sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's like one of the
Okay.
first people
I love
Senku
how you
meets.
knew what I was talking about.
Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. We're not putting that in here. No,
Wait, what?
Ruri did not make the list. I didn't like Ruri that much. But Kohaku's cool because she actually provides something to Senku. And that's the form of a military power. She's
Absolute state of shonen, where the female characters are judged based on what they provide to the main character.
well,
And
duh.
this is why Sakura's useless.
Tragic, dude.
Yeah, that's why Sakura is useless. Next character on the honorable mentions is from Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy. Oh shit! I actually have no idea. Faye?
Nah,
Nah, the what's its face? The small one.
Oh,
it's Vicious.
50
Oh.
Okay, okay.
This
I
is-
have not.
this
Main
is just
antagonist of
gonna
the
be, like,
series.
I've not watched Cowboy Bebop.
He had a girlfriend, and that girlfriend had an affair with Spike. And you know, then they hated each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically Vicious's whole thing was like he got really fucking vicious.
Roll
Surprisingly, Vicious was vicious. Could you imagine?
Totally delicious.
He's just like really good character overall. Actually, he didn't make it
I
higher
gotta-
because Cowboy Bebop is very foggy
Niche.
in my head. Like I don't remember it that well.
I have to watch
Like
it someday.
the plot itself, I just remember Vicious being like insanely cool. So that's why he's here.
I respect it. Any Cowboy Bebop representation is good.
Next is, I believe, another Dr. Stone character.
Just
Hype.
Sukasa?
Nah.
Nah, Tsukasa's
Um,
mellow.
Oh no, never mind. This is Demon
Frickin-
Slayer. Demon Slayer. This is Giyu Tomioka.
Oh,
Okay,
this
ooh.
one.
Shit, I haven't watched Demon Slayer either.
So
yeah, this list
Right.
is just going to be like just going to be constant reminders of I
since
probably
this is
should
fresh
watch
in my
this sometime.
mind, I will talk about Giyu a little bit. He is the one who found Tanjiro and Nezuko in the forest after the demons killed everybody, including Nezuko. But Nezuko became a demon. And when she was about to kill Tanjiro, this guy comes in and saves the day. And he basically introduces the concept of Demon Slayer to the viewers, or slash readers.
Slash.
And he got taught under the same teacher that Tanjiro will eventually learn from, in the form of like the water breathing style. And he is also one of the 10 pillars of Demon Slayers, which are like basically like the Elite Four, but there's 10 of them.
Okay.
And they all have a different style. But
The
Gyu's a total
Gotenks.
badass. He in the main arc, I believe it was fucking against the spider people. Tanjiro, Inosuke, Zenitsu, they all had problems with like the main people, and then Gyu shows up and just claps everybody, including Rui, which is one of the 12 demon moons, which is basically like the Akatsuki, if you want to, make a comparison. By the way, the
Interesting.
graphics in this show are so good.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, all these special effects when they like have a water slide behind them, that's just fluff to visualize the movement.
Yeah, they're not
everything-
actually using water or anything.
Everything they do is a regular ass sword strike.
Yeah, everything is just like generic sword chopping and stuff like that, but they use special effects to portray like what type of fighting they do. It's pretty cool.
That's
Gyu is
interesting.
awesome. I like him a lot.
I dig the design.
Yeah, they all like that. Anyway, next one is from Mob Psycho.
Beside, oh
Is
shit.
it Dimple?
Shimazaki? Not Shimazaki. Is it Mob?
It's not Mob.
Dimple?
It is.
There's no way. There's no
Ritsu-
way.
Ritsu.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
Ritsu.
I was about to say, there's no way freaking Raiken is this low.
No,
Hell
he's
no.
up there.
Yeah, Ritsu Kageyama. He looks out for his brother a lot, even though he doesn't seem like he does. It's such a good series. Maka, you have to watch Mob. It's so good.
Will do after Fate.
Yeah. I don't want to go too much into Ritsu, but like Mob itself isn't something that you take like extreme.
Sure.
Um.
Later.
By the way, he's here. He's in honorable mentions.
No.
What?
No way.
Oh.
Wait, are you dead ass?
I am
Unfortunate.
Not
I am
trolling?
dead ass. I am dead ass.
Bye.
Viking didn't make top. He didn't make top 50. It's not even like me where I only had 39. He didn't make top 50, dude. Viking.
I don't
He's
fucking
like-
like him that much, to be honest with you. I don't think.
Oh my god, he's having a
he's
breakdown.
he's like King, but even better written.
I just.
Why you
Explain
haven't watched
yourself.
Mob?
Like,
He's a dick to Mob.
I haven't even finished Mob,
He's
and
such-
I get this
Bro,
guy.
he's such an asshole to Mob. He
Have you
uses him
seen-
like specifically for his benefit, and he tries to convince himself otherwise.
Have you seen season 2? My
Yes,
nigga?
I have seen season 2.
Then why the fuck?
He's actually having a
Hey.
mental breakdown.
I didn't see. I didn't see that coming. That one actually just blindsided.
Okay, anyway, we're just gonna move on.
Wow.
The next one's from Code Geass.
Fucking be Suzaku, I swear to God.
Yeah, it's fucking Suzaku.
You know what? I'm glad he's here. I'm glad he's not on the list. It's fucking.
Yeah,
bitch.
Suzaku fucking
Oh.
sucks. I hate him. But
He's the second best written character in the show, free. But I can't take this dude's hypocrisy. It just.
yeah, he
Oh
sucks, dude.
Uh,
Suzaku Kururugi. This fucking guy.
look at this. Look at this bitch.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Look
he's
at
a-
his freaking face. He looks like he sucks Charles's dick.
Yeah, he low key probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's one of the better pilots for Britannia. Probably the best pilot for Britannia, actually.
Big fucking deal.
Yes.
Yeah, big fucking deal, honestly. Like that matters.
Shit.
For those of you, for the people who haven't watched Code Geass, really quick on why Suzaku's a hypocrite. Basically, Britannia is like the real life Britannian Empire, but like in the future, they basically taken out over like more than half the world through power, mind you. And Suzaku's like, oh, I'm going to change the empire from the inside to make it all good and stuff. And he doesn't approve of what Lelouch is doing, the main character, because he's like, Lelouch is basically a terrorist as far as Britannia is concerned. And Suzaku's like, oh, that's bad. You shouldn't like sacrifice lives and stuff to get what you want. Meanwhile, Suzaku, all hail Britannia.
Yeah,
Throughout the whole
exactly.
freaking series, like it just makes no sense.
Because he has to
It
be
makes no-
loyal
like,
to the
logically,
empire. So it's
it-
like if
So-
you know
yeah.
it probably kills him on the inside that he has to do that.
So what you're telling me is he's basically just Republican. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, you actually did. Okay, we're gonna move on.
God. Anyway,
Next
yeah,
is
gets-
from Steins Gate.
I have not watched that.
Oh God. Oh shit. Is it Suzuha?
It is Mayuri.
Okay.
She is just
I
a
respect that.
lovable ball of fluff.
She is such a munchkin. I
I
respect
love
this.
her. I love her to
Munchkin.
death.
He is not that
She doesn't
stacked.
deserve anything that happens to her, by the way.
Oh
Nothing.
no.
Nothing. She
Uh-oh.
doesn't deserve a single thing that happens to her. She is just a happy-go-lucky, like, she just loves her childhood friend. That she just wants to look at her. Look at her. You mean to tell me that she deserves anything bad to happen to her? Poor girl. Oh, okay. We're just gonna get out of here. Do not loot her. She's not meant to be looted.
All right, Sam.
Cool. Steins Gate is great.
All right. Next honorable mention, the second to last one, is from Gintama.
And I have no idea who this is.
It's
Is
just
it
Gintoki.
It's
Gintoki.
Gintoki.
Is he the
Mainly,
protagonist
all right.
or something?
Yeah, he's the protagonist. The reason why he's this low is because I haven't watched enough of Gintama
Okay.
to justify a higher placing. But I watched enough to know how fucking awesome he is.
Okay, fair.
He is so sick. He is the funniest character I think I've met in almost any show. He is just so hilarious that it's not even funny. Like, it's
Oh,
so
what?
funny, it's not funny.
Why did? Yeah, that face.
It's crazy how like it flips between like this actually serious and like super deep anime and just this funny ass show.
Yeah. So for context, they live
Oh,
in
it's like Zatch Bell.
they live in a non-militaristic state of Japan, where even so if that's not my mood tonight, I don't know what is.
Amazing.
Me in quarantine trying to celebrate my birthday. But yeah, they live in a
Oh,
like
shit.
non-militaristic Japan. Like the swords are banned.
Why is the glass cracked?
Yeah, bro, I don't know.
Oh, anyway, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, they live in a a an era of Japan where every weapon is like illegal. And Gintama, or Gintoki rather, he studied the way of the sword, but he only uses a wooden sword because swords themselves are actually banned from Japan, and only like military can have them. So like he has to live his life trying to get by, and the only thing he really knows how to do properly is to wield a sword. But he can't do that because it's fucking illegal. So he has to do odd jobs with his two friends, and they basically live like Okabe and Okabe Rintaro in Steins Gate, like in the attic of the landlord, and they just have to kind of like make ends meet that way, and it just calls for a bunch of shenanigans, hilarious fucking shenanigans. Show is fucking awesome. I have to continue it.
They just live in Biblos' attic.
And the last character
the
for the
last
honorable
one.
mentions
Is from?
it's from Seven Deadly Sins.
Is it Escanor?
It's not Escanor.
Is it Bon?
It's not Bon.
Meliodas?
It's not Meliodas. It's King.
Well, King.
King.
I don't remember
This
that
guy
much
is
about-
OP as shit.
Yeah, he is.
Let me wank King for a second.
Alright.
Oh,
So
God.
he has this weird power where he first of all he becomes skinny and fat. I don't know why. That's probably his sloth trait. But he has like this psychokinetic power, and he can like float on pillows and like do a bunch of shit with his lance. Yeah, he's fucking fat, dude. But like every fight he's in, he actually just destroys everybody that he fights. It's kind of weird. I just like him for his powers, to be honest. Like he just reminds me a lot of like Flare. So like that's kind of why he's on the list. But yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. So now we can move on
Into the
to
big boys.
C
real
tier.
shit.
Time for the list.
Oh boy.
Well, he has more than me.
C tier. So number 50,
Okay.
we have from Seven Deadly Sins.
Is this Bon?
It's Bon.
Ah, there he is.
You can't hate
Valid.
this guy. You really can't hate this guy. He's probably
Fair
the
enough.
best written character in the show.
And he's 50.
That is a
He has a very tragic backstory, actually. I fell in love with this this fairy, which by the way
King.
was King's sister.
Yep.
Oops.
The whole
was.
fairy forest kind of like burnt down to cinders, but he stayed in order to like help the fairy princess, which was King's sister. And I think, right? I don't remember that
Yeah,
well.
no, it was because it just became because like, it was King, sister.
King's sister. Yeah. As a
yeah.
result, he got like he drank from this thing. I think, right? He drank from like
The fountain. I think it was
the fountain of immortality or something like that. And as such, he gained huge regenerative properties. And basically, that's where he gets his Foxen of Greed from, because he's always looking to get more power,
Right.
because he always is like regenerating, so he like always needs like something. I don't know. I don't remember. I just know that Bon is a
Yeah.
fucking badass, dude.
Yeah.
Like an actual
Pour one out for
badass.
Seven Deadly Sins. Really
Yeah.
deserved a better season 3 adaptation. Well written. A lot of the characters are super tragic.
I mean,
I might finish
well,
it.
It's well written up to a certain point when, which happened recently, and then it just became a clusterfuck because it just wouldn't fucking end.
Okay.
Oh, no.
49 is from JoJo's.
Yeah. Oh god, this is hard.
Oh, here we go.
Actually difficult.
I have no clue.
Is
Is
it
it is
Okuyasu
it
again?
is
Wait,
it
wait,
Gyakyo? Is it
wait, wait.
Gyakyo?
It's
Is
not
it-
Gyakyo.
Is it a Bachio?
Shit.
It's not. All right. So contrary to popular belief, I know I like Gyakyo a lot, but his character is very lacking, as a lot of
True.
JoJo's
Yeah,
characters.
I-
but he's
yeah.
funny, and
Yeah.
that's
He
kind of
just
JoJo in a
kind of
nutshell.
he just kind of screams a lot, and I like that. Also, his White Album stand is busted. But 49 is Dio.
Dio is low.
Dio. So yeah, everyone knows about Dio. I don't really think I have to go into too much detail about Dio, but you know,
It's freaking Dio.
it's Dio. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, it's weird because like when I first watched JoJo, I didn't know like the whole deal with Dario and like his upbringing, so it was interesting to kind of see like why he has his ideology.
One in
Okay.
general, I thought, well, real quick, part one in general, that's the one thing I like about part one. Usually, when you have like the rich kid versus the quote unquote underdog dynamic, it's usually the
Poor
poor
guy
dude
versus
that's
the rich kid, but
that's
it's
the
actually
guy.
the other way around. It's pretty nice.
It's kind of interesting. I like that.
Number 48 is from Demon Slayer.
This Tanjiro.
Hell
Is
no.
it Zenitsu? Is it Zenitsu?
It's not.
Is it Zen? Yeah, I was about to guess Zenitsu. Okay, I'm not
It's
sure.
not. It's Inosuke.
Oh, Inosuke.
That low?
Inosuke
Is this
Hashi.
the funny man with the
It's
pig
the
on
funny
his
man
head or
with the
something?
pig. Yep.
Yeah, Inosuke. Okay, I respect it.
So yeah, Inosuke.
Yeah.
How do you hate this dude? First of all,
You don't.
you don't exactly. You don't.
I
hate
haven't
this
even
guy.
watched this, and I can't hate him. He's
Yeah. Look at him. Look at that.
Bro, and also
Amazing.
underneath that mask, that's not it.
Underneath that mask, he has a girl's face. Like, look at that face.
oh,
He is just a pretty boy. He's a pretty boy, but he has like the complete opposite of a pretty boy.
Wait. Mood.
Yeah, totally. So he studied under actually I don't think he studied under anybody. Did he?
I know.
I think he taught himself, but his style is the way of the beast. Obviously. He wears a fucking boar's head. Like you know, like he's slicing ham or some shit. But his style is very rush down, slice and dice. His both of his swords are actually like carved to be like these like jagged knives. If I can find a better picture of them.
If you look.
Yes, you can see that.
Oh,
You can
wait.
see it in
You can
the.
kind of see them, yeah.
You can kind of see that there. He actually like chips them out in order to make better cuts. So like when he like carves them like a knife, like an actual knife, it like makes the cuts deeper because there's like you know what I'm talking about. It's
Yeah,
very feral way to fight people.
It's like
very-
these hooks where you rip the flesh out.
Yeah, very opposite to Tanjiro. Tanjiro is like, you know, he studies under the water style. He's very graceful. He tries to
Right.
end things in like just regular hits instead of like carving his opponents to death. Yeah, other than that, there it is.
Yeah,
The main reason why I started watching, literally the main reason why I started watching Demon Slayer, let me see this for a second, is because of this right here. This image right here was because this is why I wanted to watch Demon Slayer. I wanted to get to this moment and watch it.
Very understandable.
Yeah, but that's Inosuke.
man's spine's like made of noodles.
He is very flexible. Okay, 47. What's 47? 47 is from Bleach.
I'm
Bleach.
47.
Shit, Kenpachi?
It's Kenpachi.
Here he is.
Kenpachi Zaraki.
Why? Why are all these
My
fucking-
favorite Bleach character.
Really? I didn't know he
Is
was
it-
that high.
He is my favorite Bleach character. But he's not the highest Bleach character on this list. Because I do recognize that
Oh, that's
some
interesting.
characters, Aizen, are written way better. But Kenpachi himself, he just sets like this standard for like all characters.
So
Like, the image
we
will
didn't
fucking
even
load on
get to
my
really
screen.
talk about Kenpachi last time.
No, we
we can
didn't.
jerk off Kenpachi for a second.
Can we
'cause
jerk
this
off
dude
Kenpachi for a second?
Oh my
Let's
God,
do it.
okay.
Let's do it. Oh, go ahead.
This guy's
Oh
so
my-
broken, bro.
And high key, we already like touched on it, but like we said like he's a captain, right? He's one of the captains in Soul Society. Every captain, like to become a captain, you need a bankai. Like that is a requirement. They just
I'm
made
just
this guy a
saying is-
captain because he's that strong.
Yeah, he
He
doesn't
doesn't
have a
have one,
Bankai.
right?
That's his stick, right? He doesn't have.
No. Good.
No, here's the thing. He doesn't have a Bankai. He's that strong, and then later on in the series, he gets one.
No, he doesn't
Like-
even have Shikai.
Yeah, he doesn't even
He
have a
doesn't have
Shikai,
Shikai, and
which is
to
like
the
the
point-
base form
like-
of his Zanpakuto.
Like he's still on top of that. He's so strong that he freaking nerfs himself. You see that eye patch on his his right eye?
His right
That's
eye.
a seal for his spirit. That's a seal for his spirit energy.
He also wears
'Cause he
bells
got-
on the
he's
back of his hair to let people know that he's coming.
Because he's like a fighting freak. He's like really addicted to fighting, and it got to the point where he was so strong that he would end fights too fast. So he was like, "Yo, this sucks. I'm gonna nerf myself so I can enjoy beating the crap out of people more."
And then, as the series continues, he gets stronger with every time he almost gets body. He just gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and it doesn't fucking stop.
He even like up until one of the fights, it's the fight with Noitora. He
Yeah,
always
I-
swings his sword with one hand, because swinging with like two hands makes him like exponentially stronger for some.
And then he
Jeez.
swings with two hands, and he just claps the nigga.
It's
Crazy.
ridiculous.
Oh
Okay.
my god, Kenpachi.
Oh, one more thing, and then we're done. Okay, so in the Blood War arc, this arc that's gonna be animated in the future, right?
Oh, I
Kenpachi,
know what's coming.
yeah, Kenpachi fights this dude, right? His name is Gremmy. He is extremely strong. He has a broken power. He can turn his own imagination into reality.
Yeah, he literally fights imagination, the concept.
It gets to the point where like the imagination dude, he summons an asteroid because he wants to. He like removes all the light in the area or something like that because he wants to. And Kenpachi fights him, right? And Kenpachi is so broken and he keeps doing such ridiculous stuff during the fight that the imagination dude gets so scared that the only reason he loses is because he imagines Kenpachi beating his ass.
Yeah,
Oh my
He
God.
imagines himself getting bodied, and that's how he gets.
that's
No.
that is the type of energy Kenpachi instills in people.
Kenpachi
Absolute,
is just-
utter fear.
Didn't
The
he also
fact
try to-
where that you can imagine Kenpachi dying. You can literally just imagine Kenpachi dying and he'll die. But he
Oh,
can't
no.
even do it because Kenpachi is so strong that he can't even imagine Kenpachi losing.
Dude, Kenpachi is nuts. I
He
don't
is
blame
so
anyone that
fuck-
likes Kenpachi. It's
He is so good. He's just, I love him. He's the best.
It's
Wait,
he is
correct
so
me.
nuts.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't the same guy also try to like steal his power, but literally tore his body apart because Kenpachi's power was too much for his body to handle? Or was it
Think
another
so?
guy?
I'm not sure. I'm not
I
sure.
remember. I think I
I
remember.
remember something like that, but I'd have to reread the Blood War.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna move
I
on.
Busted.
Kenpachi is awesome. Let's
Number
go.
46
great.
is the final Mob Psycho character, and obviously it's
Mob.
Mob.
Oh damn. Oh damn.
Understand, very understandable.
Shigeo. Shigeo.
Shigeo Kageo. Also, let
Mob
me
Wars.
know. Well, let me know like at what point you want to start playing music. Like, what characters?
Probably
deserve
for top 10 only.
Alright,
That's how we're gonna
Fair.
do it. So yeah, Mob, main character, broken psychic, like literally the most broken psychic in the series. It gets to the point where like the guy who has accumulated enough psychic energy over decades and decades of time at the end of the series can't even still hold a candle to him because of his raw emotional power. He is that strong. However-
He's brain Saitama.
He's literally like if Saitama's
Brain
brain
Saitama.
was like his muscles, that would literally be what Mob would be. That's
Yeah.
it's
And like Saitama, obviously, since he's so broken, his main struggle throughout the series is more so emotional and just trying to be a normal kid when he has these broken ass powers.
and the thing is where Saitama has physical physical problems, as in like he's trying to find stronger opponents. Shigeo is having mental problems because he doesn't exactly know how to become a normal kid because he has these psychic powers.
And he doesn't want to fight.
And he doesn't want to fight. He's a pacifist at heart. And it's actually super sad because like he just wants to live a normal life and he can't. But
imagine being one and writing both Mob Psycho and One Punch Man.
Yeah, crazy, right? He's insane. But yeah, that's Mob.
He sacrificed all of his drawing talent
for the story.
He poured all his EVs into writing.
45 is another Cowboy Bebop character.
Who is it that draws One Punch?
Spike Spiegel?
No, Spike. It has to.
What? It's not Spike.
Did you say it's the highest Cowboy Bebop character?
No, I said it's the next Cowboy Bebop character.
Okay.
Bro, if you think Spike is anywhere this low, you're bugging.
No,
you are bugging, dude.
You put Mob this low. What the fuck are we going to expect?
It's Radical Edward.
Oh,
Radical Edward.
Red Ed.
So Radical Edward. Yeah, Edward Wong Hao Pelupu Travuski the Fourth.
That was extremely impressive.
She is a master hacker. Yes, that is a girl. Tomboy.
Understandable. I'm used to it at this point.
Yeah, look at her. Yeah, that is 100% female. She's a bundle of fun.
Looks like a bundle.
She provides a lot of the comic relief to Cowboy Bebop while also providing the group with like a hacking ability that becomes like very, very prominent in the later series. But she is insanely intelligent, obviously. At one point, she plays virtual chess with some old dude who was considered the chess like reigning champion for like I don't know how many years, but they played for 6 days straight, one game. And while she ended up losing, it was the most the guy said it was the most fun that he's had in a game of chess ever. And then that guy died right on the spot from old age.
Oh.
So yeah. Other than that, she's just a really big bundle of fun. It just provides like this overwhelming emotional support to a group that seems to be lacking it.
Sweet.
Like Spike isn't very an emotional guy. Like he's a very quiet, suave kind of dude, while Radical Edward is the exact opposite. Very rambunctious, very wild.
That's why she's the heart.
Like, look at her. Like look at that. That's her playing chess right now.
Amazing.
Yeah, you're using goggles to see the board or whatever. Take a few, yeah. So, nice. Radical Edward. Next up on the list, oh boy, it's a Full Metal Alchemist character.
Oh, I have absolutely no clue who this could be. Wait. Oh man,
is it Alphonse?
No.
Is it Edward?
No.
Is it Greed?
No.
Envy?
No.
Truth?
No.
No.
It's not Roy Mustang, is it?
All right, I'm just gonna tell you, it's von Hohenheim.
Oh, okay. That was actually.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's too many good information.
There's too many Full Metal Alchemist characters, but I don't know how to spell Hohenheim. If someone can get that for me, thank you. So this is Edward's dad.
Hohenheim.
Hohenheim, yeah. He is considered. Well, first of all, let's start. He was part of a nation. I don't know if you're gonna watch Full Metal Alchemist, so I don't want to get too into detail with him, but
please don't. I am definitely gonna watch it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna finish it.
Hohenheim is one of, if not the most important character in the show.
Yep.
If you see by his alias, his name is Slave 23. I'm not going to get into detail with that at all because it's very important to the overarching plot. But just know that von Hohenheim is not who he seems to be, in a good way. That's all I can say. But he is up there for a reason.
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to spoil anything for Mako because when everything happens, it's just Speaking of Full Metal Alchemist, we got another one.
Oh, another one.
Is
And
it
Back
I-
at
now?
it again.
Now it's Edward.
No,
It's not Mustang.
it's not Mustang.
Father.
Alphonse?
It's Alphonse.
Ah. Edward is not even in the honorable mention.
So Alphonse, you know, he. There's so much to say about Alphonse. Actually, Alphonse is a very crucial part to Edward. Because it's basically the reason why Edward exists right now is to help his brother live his life.
Mhm.
And being a soul trapped in a suit of armor is not the best living conditions. Let me
Of
just
course.
put that out there. I don't think living as a
Wouldn't think.
sentient body of armor that can be literally erased with a fucking jar of paint. You'll understand what I mean when you watch it, but
Also, he has this character probably is one of the best written emotional dilemmas
yeah, it's so
in all of anime.
it is
Without
so
spoiling too much.
I love
I
this
believe
kid.
it.
This kid deserves way more than he got. But
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Sick though.
we're gonna move on. Our next character is from Dr. Stone.
Stone, Tsukasa? Is this Tsukasa?
Is it Chrome?
It's not Chrome, actually. This is a bit of a sleeper pick.
Wait, okay, let me think. It's not Gen.
It is Gen.
Ooh. I can see that.
So Gen Asagiri. This dude, if I could
Flare hair.
persona,
Is it because of the flare hair? Just be honest with me.
no, Loki, it's not. It's not.
No.
It's not. If I could personify Acheron into a character, it would be this kid.
Oh, huh.
Except cranked up to 11.
Yeah, cranked up to 11. So his whole thing is that he is a mentalist. He can read people's emotions and like talk his way out of stuff with his silver tongue. He's also one of the survivors from the previous era of humanity. So like he's from the same era as Tsukasa and Senku. Basically all he wants is a glass of soda.
Also, are you sure you're recording? I just got paranoid about it for some reason.
I am recording. Yeah, we've been going on for 42 minutes already, which is insane.
Oh, geez.
Alright, let's go.
But yeah, honestly, there's not much to say about Gen other than the fact that the way he uses his skill set in the series is very unique.
Okay.
Like he plays as a double agent, and it like throughout watching the series, I actually couldn't tell whether he was a good guy or a bad guy.
Bro, he's such a fucking. I can't either.
I just don't know. I still don't know. I didn't read the manga yet, but we'll figure it out.
Bro, the manga's so good right now. So crazy.
I have to watch it, dude.
I gotta
read the manga.
41. I put 40 for some reason. 44 for Gen. 41 is the last Helsing character.
42. Hey, it has to be freaking Alucard.
It's Alucard, of course.
Hey, let's go.
Hey, kids, want to see
There
that body?
he is. What can I say
Goat.
about this dude?
Wait. His alias is the No Life King. Excuse me, I hold that title.
Alucard's insane. Being, you know,
That face is like self-explanatory, honestly. That first image.
yeah, for real. Like, you mean to tell me that you wouldn't put a face like this in top 50 of your anime character list? Get real. Get fucking bent if you don't. Alucard's a fucking king.
The mad lad. The literal mad lad.
He, in Hellsing, I don't know if you guys know, but he literally devoured the entirety of Great Britain
Mm-hmm.
in his giant sea of eyeball whatever, and then used his infinite lives that he's procured from that to go off against Walter and basically all of neo-Nazi vampire mech Germany.
Zombie.
Zombie. It's just
That's different.
Yeah, like it's honestly kind of scary. The fact that he can reincarnate, the fact that he has Cerberus in his back pocket. the fact that he can reanimate the dead, the fact that he can just do basically whatever he wants with the dead, absorb their blood, get infinite life, and then he's got 2 fucking Glock 50s on top of that. Like,
Really
come
good.
on. It's Alucard.
Like he had to get haxed in order to be beaten.
Yeah.
And even that didn't like
Wait.
actually defeat.
Okay, all right.
my God. Henderson is not even an honorable
Nah,
mention.
I'm sorry, dude. Anderson just didn't make it. Walter, between Walter and Santegra, and like Alucard had to be on this list too. Anderson is really cool, and he had one of the best fights, but unfortunately, I just valued Santegra just a little more because of what she does.
Damn it.
Anyway, I'm about to piss off everybody with this number 40.
I'm scared.
What
series?
what's the
This
series? What's the
is
series?
from Gurren Lagann.
Oh well. Okay.
How do you piss off someone with a Gurren Lagann character? Who is
Kamina.
this?
Oh.
No! No!
Can I just explain myself though? There's a
No.
reason.
No, you can't.
Explain this.
No, you really
I,
can't. There is no. It is impossible, like by the laws of physics, for a human being to form a sentence that justifies this. But go ahead, please, be my guest.
Go ahead.
Bro, I haven't watched
Go ahead.
Gurren Lagann in so long that I don't remember almost a lot about it. But I know Kamina is just that good of a character. I had to put him on this list. If
Okay, damn,
if
that
I
sucks.
watched it recently, I think he would be way higher up. Excuse
Yeah,
me for
damn
1
right.
second.
That's what he's gonna be.
Excuse me for 1 second.
No.
What are you doing? I thought I had him kind of low because I would obviously have him like top. Actually, no.
He'd
I was
have
gonna say
number
top 5,
one.
but
Hey, yo, Kamina that low? Who the hell do you think he is?
literally, he's really good.
He looks so
Wait,
weird.
wait,
with
wait, wait.
glasses.
Does he have a drill knuckle?
Yes, he does.
Fucking badass.
It's so weird because like you can't. It sounds cheesy, but like I can't put it into words. You have to experience
You
comedy.
have to experience.
Yeah,
confidence.
he's just. I mean, I have a fucking Kamina propaganda poster on my fucking wall.
Oh my
It's a
god.
good motivator. Just his face
Okay.
is a
sorry.
good motivator. Alright, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I guess.
Did you just you do not anyway Kamina, my dude.
Anyway, it was yeah.
Yeah.
If I watched it more recently, Kamina would definitely be way higher up because I have like a more developed
Understandable.
mind to watch it. But I watched Gurren Lagann when I was like, oh god, like a teenager. So like, it was a long time ago.
The show is 13 years old.
39 is from The Promised Neverland.
Oh, I should've expected
Is
him
it
to
Ray?
show up.
It's
Emma?
not Ray. It's Emma.
Oh,
I guessed that name. I have no idea about the
Yeah,
show.
that's Emma. Main character of the show. The reason why she's lower than the other two that we'll get into is because she really doesn't provide as much depth as the other two will.
Shonen and Curse.
Shonen Curse. She's she's a very spunky girl. That's pretty much all she's got. I don't know what these fucking images are because I only watched the anime, but I'm gonna just leave it on this one. She acts as like a leader to the group in terms of motivator. So she's basically like little girl Kamina
right.
in that sense. But the other two, which we'll get to in the higher tiers, are just yeah, they're just way, they provide way more to the story in the anime. I don't know about the manga. I didn't read it yet.
I have to disagree on the little girl Kamina part though, because even a bit part of Kamina would indicate that I would want to fuck her, and I do not want to do that.
38 is the last Seven Deadly Sins character. Of fucking course, it's Escanor. You don't have
Escanor.
to.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't
for
have
sure.
to fucking tell me.
It is the absolute biggest chat in anime.
I have
Hands down.
never.
Easy
I have
clap.
never seen a more manly man in a show with such
Imagine-
baby faces.
Freaking just Who decided that?
Yeah, who decided that?
One of the greatest lines I've ever heard.
Give me another minute.
It's fine. I'll go ahead and just like fill the time. TLDR. Actually, yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. God, he's such a freaking Chad. Basically, he was fighting. He was fighting a dude, and the dude was like, "Oh, you're like, all right, you're not strong enough to beat me." Yada yada yada. Typical antagonist talk. And instead of just like shutting him down, Escanor goes out of his way to say, "I'm too weak. I can't beat you. Who decided that? I decide those things," and just and just proceeds to clap. I can't do it justice, but yeah, you can go ahead and like YouTube the scene if you want. He's great.
Right. Maybe
The manga goes more into his.
I don't.
Uh, oh god, no.
Oh my god, the animation.
Oh no, dude.
Is this from the new season that everybody's talking about?
Yep.
That's the new season. Let's not.
No.
Can we get out of it? Let's bask in areas in his full glory, the way he deserves to be portrayed. Look at those abs.
It's a fucking 10
Man's
pack.
got like a 8,
8. Like what the fuck?
maybe
His-
10.
His torso is like a giraffe's neck. It's just so long. Look at the waist. Niggas gotta have like 30 ribs.
Like a hentai character, but a dude. High key.
Look at that meaty elbow.
Okay, have you finished wanking Escanor while I was gone?
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
Yeah,
not yet. Yes, now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I probably won't get interrupted again, so that's good.
Wait.
So that's Escanor, and now for the final character in C tier,
Mm-hmm.
character from Code Geass.
Lelouch.
Oh shit!
No.
Wait. Okay.
Oh,
Really?
Wait.
Call
Call
it
it C2?
It's
No, no.
C2.
Two, okay. I was about to say
Hey.
Lelouch v freaking Britannia at
I was-
37. There's no,
No way.
I-
No way,
I was-
right?
I was gonna guess Jeremiah, but okay.
No, fuck Jeremiah.
That
That guy can die. Jeremiah can go fuck himself. Cece is a very important character. Like, if you're gonna put anyone under Lelouch, it has to be her, because like literally, she kind of like instigates everything that happens in the show.
Oh,
Like, she's that important. She is the one who gifts Lelouch his power.
She gave Lelouch his powers, and that's like the half of it.
she gives him the gear ass.
Yeah, the gear ass.
The gear ass.
Yeah, very important. Also, she loves pizza. Hello? She loves pizza. If anybody knows me, you know that I'm all over this bitch.
I should have expected it.
Wow.
Like, come on.
What the fuck is on that pizza?
It looks like peppers.
Yeah, just looks like
Red,
pepperoni
maybe
and green
sun-dried
peppers.
pepperonis and peppers, which is acceptable topics. Okay, so that's C tier.
Respectable C tier. I like it.
Okay.
That looks like some other people's A tier.
Okay, there's some heavy hitters in there. We got Kenpachi, Dio, Kamina,
He knows Cabana,
Mob.
Escanor.
Yeah, right? What could B tier possibly hold? And I'll tell you, because now at number 36, we have our first Hunter x Hunter character.
What the
Hey,
fuck?
wait, what?
I do not.
Wait a
Don't
minute.
fuck this up. Do not fuck this up. Do not fuck. In 36.
Hisoka!
Wow.
Hisoka is at 36? I don't even mess with him like that, but I'm surprised you have him this low.
Well, listen,
After-
as much as I will wank the fucking pedo clown, as much as I love him, as much as I love how wanked up he is, as much as I love everything about Hisoka and everything that is, I have
There it is.
Yeah, swing. I have to give credit where it's due that there are better written characters, which is why I put Kenpachi low, which is why I put like Dio as low as I did. Like, you know what I mean? Hisoka did not have much time to develop as the other characters in Hunter x Hunter, which are, I'm probably not going to hold you. I didn't look at the list, but they're probably in top 10. But yeah, man, Hisoka. Like we already covered him in the last video, but he is my favorite Hunter x Hunter character. If anyone doesn't know that, Bungee Gum is probably the most versatile Nen ability
Did
that
you
I've
know
ever
it
seen.
has the
Besides
properties of
Chrollo,
both
because
rubber and
Chrollo
gum?
literally copies other books.
Krollo's a cheat. Krollo's
Chrollo
ridiculous.
cheats. I don't give a fuck about him. But
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm not gonna go
Because
too
not
into
much
depth
again,
because I still have a lot of characters to go over. So
I thought you were just gonna do this based on like pure personal taste, because of course I had Goku.
well,
and
it's a mix of
Goku.
both, like personal taste as well as how well they stick up to me. And obviously Hisoka should be way higher up if that's the case. But I do want to give credit where it's due and give
Understandable.
characters like that are actually well written and stuff the chance to shine.
I can
Also,
respect
say
that.
since we've
Hisoka-
already talked about most of them, I don't have to. But
Alright,
all
let's
right,
go.
30,
I can
35.
I can respect that you can put your bias aside.
Speaking
and
of putting
just,
my
like,
bias
recognize, like-
aside, the last Dr. Stone character on the list is next, and
Senku.
obviously it's Senku.
Hell yeah. I
I don't think
have
I've
any
ever
qualms
met
with
a
that.
fucking. I don't think I've ever read or seen a character that exudes such big brain energy like this guy. And to look so
Good.
cool while doing it, and to have that
He has
mentality, and
E equals MC squared written on his clothes just to let you know.
like he knows
What?
what he's all about, and he's not afraid to show it. You know what I mean? He's so fucking cool. Like I love big brain characters. That's just kind of who I am. You know, I mean, I can appreciate a good Kenpachi here and there, but
Appreciate is
I
underselling it. I
can
think.
worship a Kenpachi here and there. But Senku is so cool, man. Like I model Flare based off what Senku like in terms of big brain stuff. Senku does what I try to do with Flare, and now I have a good
Bro, you just
guideline
have
to
the
go by.
saxophone.
Yeah, dude. Sure. No, they don't
Is
have
that what I
sax.
saw?
No, they're that's just like promotional art.
Yeah.
There are no saxophones in this. They barely have a working telephone yet. I don't know about the manga yet, dude. I'm not there yet.
Bro, you have no
Also,
fucking
look at
idea.
this. Look at that. You mean to tell me that guy can't be top 35?
How could you not like that?
Look at
He's
him.
great.
He's such a dick, and I love it. But like, he knows what to do for the greater good of humanity, and like, he will always get his shits and giggles in at the end. He's always gonna get his shits and giggles in at the end of the day, but like but regardless of the situation, he is going to do what will make humanity go forward.
He's a cool protagonist.
Yeah, he's a very cool protagonist, a very
So
unique
is Doctor
spin on
Stone
the.
like this
I always
post-apocalyptic kind of like show or?
It is
Yeah.
post-apocalyptic 100%. Basically, what happens in Doctor Stone is that the entire world turns into stone, and some people cave out of that
Mhm.
Wow.
of that Medusa like state and have to live in this non-technology thrived society. I guess you want to call it society.
Low key, it's an isekai.
It is technically an isekai, just like Final Fantasy X. But anyway, number 34 on the list. Let me just look at my list real quick. Oh boy. Okay, we got another JoJo character.
Is it Jotaro?
No,
Yeah.
no,
Shono?
Don't fucking.
Oh, now it's a
Uh,
Machio.
no. Actually, it's not.
Bucciarati?
No,
Too many Go JoJo characters.
Joseph.
it's Joseph.
Oh, it's Joseph. Huh? He's not the highest JoJo character?
Nah. He's
Huh.
really cool,
Okay.
but there is another JoJo character coming up later, which we'll get to.
Okay.
That
I can understand why Joseph isn't like people's best JoJo character
he
because
mean,
at
he's
least in
not.
battle, Tendency.
Battle Tittle.
Tendency. In Battle
Tendel.
Tendency, he kind of just like cheats literally every fight. He just like manages to get lucky.
Lord.
Yeah,
As
but
long as it
that's
works.
kind of why he's lower for me, because the next
That's what
JoJo
I'm saying.
character,
Yeah, that's
which
what
we'll
I'm
get to later, he definitely does not cheat. He knows what he's doing, but we all know about Joseph.
Okay.
We went over Joseph in the last video. We're not going to go too into
Yeah.
detail with him. We're going to move on.
Joseph sick.
Joseph is so sick.
33.
And he just,
33 is
he's just the kind of guy that just enjoys being alive.
yeah. He just
Like-
he does what he can.
Yeah, next
The
line is going
next-
to
the
be
next
character 33
character-
is from Dragon Ball.
No.
Damn it.
Actually, I don't think I have a lot of Dragon Ball characters on here. I think I only put in like 1 or 2. Thinking about
Yeah,
it.
because most of them suck.
But
Oof.
the next one is the second Promised Neverland character.
Is this Ray?
No,
Ray?
it's
The
Norman.
other one.
It's Norman.
It's Norman. Okay.
Fucking Norman.
So this kid, he is the brains behind the group. Behind the main 3, I should say. He can get together a plan in a very intellectual way, considering his age. He is the smartest of the group in terms of test scores that are shown off in the series. In fact, the main 3 actually have the top 3 test scores for like comprehension or whatever like that, like deductive reasoning and shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens. I know you guys aren't gonna watch Promised Neverland. I don't think so.
I
At
might.
least you
I
might.
might.
Okay, I'm not gonna say what happens with
Probably not.
Eventually.
Eventually, yeah. Just be prepared. This series is fucked up.
Yeah, I
This
got
series
that.
is so
I
fucked
heard.
up. Like, oh my god, I watched the first episode at 2 o'clock in the morning. Biggest mistake I've ever made. Like,
Bro,
oh
no,
my
no,
god,
you-
I was scared.
You want another mistake? Watch School Days.
We'll get there when we get there, but yeah, Norman is there, but yeah, I'm just gonna let you all know now. Ray is up here somewhere.
No, I
We
don't
will
think-
get to Ray when we get to Ray.
Yay!
Okay.
I don't
But
know why
the
I'm rooting
next,
for him.
yeah. Well, Ray, I have a few words about Ray.
Some
You
choice
should.
words.
Number 32 is One Punch Man.
The Punch Man is this Is it Child Emperor?
No, it's not Child Emperor. Child Emperor did
Is it-
not make the list.
Is it Moomin
Wow.
Rider? What the
It's not Moomin Rider.
Genos?
It's Genos.
Hey,
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Do I really have to
Cool,
explain
dude.
Genos to anybody? I know we didn't go over him last
We,
video,
we've
but
we've
like,
all watched One Punch Man.
we've all
we
watched
don't
One
know.
Punch
Yeah, I've
Man.
watched
We
season
know why
one at
Genos
least.
is
I've-
cool. Like, just it's Genos.
yeah.
Like, come on! If you haven't watched One Punch Man by now, what are you doing with your life? Like, shit.
Genos is kind of interesting because
Oh, actually,
of course you can't have Saitama be like put Saitama in the generic shonen protagonist shoes for obvious reasons. So you kind of the same way Garo does that for like the villain side, Genos kind of does that for the hero side because he has the whole so and so killed my family, blah. I'm gonna go get stronger to get revenge. That's literally him. He's like the player. Hey, look Garo.
speaking of
He's
Garo,
kind of he's
I did
kind of
like
he's kind of about that.
Genos's
Ooh.
chemistry
Oh.
with Saitama, though.
you didn't like it?
No, I said I do like it. It's just
Okay,
'cause,
good,
like
good, yeah.
they balance each other out because Genos is always like super like the comically serious character, and then
Bro,
Saitama's
all right, so
just, like,
Saitama is like a top Smash player, right? And then Genos is like a mid-level player who is like on the grind. Like, that's literally the dichotomy. Anyway.
Saitama's like a retired top Smash player.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like 0.
Except he doesn't suck dick.
Garo, we don't have to talk
Wait.
about much. We talked about him before. It's
Oh.
basically for the same reasons. And then 32 is, and 30 is actually going to be the last One Punch Man character. They're grouped together,
Fuck.
but it's Saitama.
Wow.
Oh
Right.
fuck.
Oh,
Whoa. Whoa. Okay.
Saitama.
Damn.
Honestly, if you don't put Saitama as your favorite One Punch Man character, are you really watching One Punch Man? He's super cool. I didn't look too in depth with it like Maka did, which is why he's lower on the list. But I definitely appreciate like the stuff about Saitama that Maka mentioned in the last video.
Even just like superficial entertainment value is enough to put him decently high.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a comic relief character. He's amazing. Okay. For 29, we have our first
Oh,
One
I thought we would-
Piece character.
oh
Is it-
no.
wait, okay,
Here
okay,
we
okay.
go.
Is it?
Oh,
is it
God.
Sanji?
Oh fuck.
No.
Oh man, there's so many good One Piece characters. Is it Dofi?
Nah.
Is it Frankie?
Did
No.
Dofi make the list?
Dofi did not make the list.
Dude, there's no Dofi. Oh my god.
Because
Law.
it's Luffy.
Oh,
Wow, the
Oh, okay.
protagonist.
oh,
Okay.
wow.
Let me,
Okay.
let me just edit it the right way.
I'll be right back.
Luffy.
Monkey D. Luffy.
Montana de Lucha. For
So
the Juan
Luffy,
Peso.
I mean, like, all right, so
Yeah.
he's got a lot going for him, and I know we didn't talk about it in the last video, but like, we didn't talk about it at all because there was not a single One Piece character on the list.
Yes,
But
Watch One Piece.
all right, you got to be careful when watching One Piece because you could be stuck in that abyss for hours. I mean, you're in quarantine now, so like, I mean, you have the time. So, but honestly, if you're gonna do it, skip the filler. Skip all of the filler, all of it. Save yourself some time. You still have at least 950 to 1,000 episodes of actual content that you have to watch.
Oh god, dude.
But Luffy, like, he's basically budget Goku. If you think about it, like he's got standard. He's got.
Do not say that in public. Whoosh.
Yeah, I don't want to get shot up like if I say Meek Mill is trash in Philly.
He's got the black messy hair. He eats a lot. He has the monkey theme. He punches niggas.
He's very loud. He's rambunctious. He eats a lot of meat. Like it's literally Luffy. It's literally Goku.
Makes friends of his enemies.
However,
friends of his enemies.
I will be the first to say that he is a much better written character than Goku.
Yep.
Shit.
Hands
much better written character than Goku. But Goku has that legacy that we talked about when we.
Luffy. I actually didn't think. I expected 3 One Piece characters. I didn't think one of them was going to be Luffy. But I mean, I get it.
One Piece is, I think, is the officially best-selling book series on the planet, even above Harry Potter.
That's nuts. That's actually true. That's crazy. Hold on. Something's going on with Flare.
Yeah. We're good. I was fiddling with my wire, and the wire just kind of disconnected. Whatever.
Bro, don't do that. There are children watching.
Iron, you have 5 seconds to retract that statement.
Bro, don't
What did you say?
Bro, don't say that A-Cat's watching.
Okay. So yeah, Luffy is a way better written character than Goku, and he's got a really fucked up past actually.
Yeah.
He when he was a young boy, he didn't want to join the military like his grandfather wanted. His grandfather is Garp, one of the highest ranking military officers in the Navy. Neither did his not adopted, but his blood brother Ace and his other blood brother Sabo. They all made a pact saying we're gonna be pirates and we're gonna be like these big well-known names, and sure enough now Luffy's a fucking Yonko. Don't debate me on that. He's a fucking Yonko.
Almost. I'll just agree with you.
He's pretty much a Yonko. Okay.
Are you gonna look at Shanks and then look at Luffy and then tell me Luffy is a Yonko? Really?
Yes. He's literally almost there. There would.
He literally just finished getting his ass beat by Kaido.
He's
beat.
Bro, he destroyed Big Mom though.
Nigga, no.
No?
No, he beat Katakuri. That was his fight. He barely beat
which is a
Yonko.
which is a dude with over 1 billion berry bounty.
Big Mom has 3 billion or something.
Oh wow, shit.
And
the fact that Katakuri is that high and Luffy beat him, and it was very close. Okay, yeah, Luffy's actually not one of the stronger characters in the show. He's still very strong. Don't get me wrong.
It's crazy because he's come super far, but still One Piece's world building is so insane that he still has a ways to go.
You look at the Dark Continent in Hunter x Hunter, and then you look at all of the Grand Line, and the Grand Line, we don't really know for a fact, but the Grand Line and as well as the Red Line could probably be twice as big as the Dark Continent. It's a huge world. It's a huge world.
Yeah.
But yeah, so back to Luffy's backstory for a second because it's kind of important. Yeah, he made a they made a blood vow over a cup of sake that they would become big pirates and whatever. And then like you fast forward a while, you see Luffy and Ace. They get together. They get along together very well. Obviously, Ace dies. Spoiler alert. Um, and then Luffy just like enters this state of like absolute manic depression. He has no idea what to do. He's just lost. And that's when Rayleigh comes up and starts teaching him about the hockey and stuff, and that's when he like gets his shit back together and reassembles the crew. But Luffy brings out all of his crewmates' best potential in every given situation.
Yep.
And that's pretty much like he is like just a motivator. Like there's a compilation on YouTube that you can find where every single one of the Straw Hats will like say to the enemies that they're fighting that Luffy will be king of the pirates. Like he will be king of the pirates. We believe in him. And it's just like such a beautiful like type of sense of leadership. Now let's wank him. Luffy's fucking broken.
Oh my
mean,
god, here we go.
Well, I mean, yeah.
He's broken. He's broken.
We can call him broken.
He's broken in this little bubble that you like put him in. He went up against Katakuri, right? A person with a devil fruit that's literally just a better version of his.
Yeah,
And won.
that is pretty impressive.
Yeah. So like
That fight was
obviously he's
nuts.
the rubber boy. He just does a lot of things with his like rubbery arms and rubbery elasticity body. He can inflate his bones somehow. Which is gear. Yeah, he can inflate his bones because his bones are also made of rubber.
Such a weird. It's such like a non-conventional, wacky protagonist power, but I've always liked it.
And then he also has the Conqueror's Shade of Haki, which is a stupidly overpowered power. Think like spiritual pressure in Bleach.
Yeah.
Only this type of power is activatable, and you can make people just pass the fuck out just from your sheer power alone.
Whoa.
Yeah, he has red, the red shade of Haki. He has observation Haki as well, and armament Haki, which observation Haki is basically like clairvoyance in a way, almost like you can like see things. He was able to like we're gonna go back to Katakuri because this is his best feat by far. Beating Katakuri is his best feat. Katakuri has observer's Haki that is so advanced that he can see into the fucking future, and he couldn't predict Luffy's movements.
Also,
how does that work?
Also, while we're at it, let's wank off Sanji for a bit because Sanji also managed to fucking ignore that observation Haki.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
How?
Weird.
It's like you can only see a certain amount of like. All right, actually, let's go back for a second because I want to talk about how Luffy seems like a fucking idiot at first glance.
So compared to Katakuri, everyone else has like 10 frames input lag.
Pretty much, yeah. But Luffy seems like an idiot, but he's actually a tactical genius when he fights.
Yeah.
We're gonna reference the Crocodile fight for a second.
Oh boy, that's so good.
So, Crocodile in the first like actual arc of One Piece where they had like a big villain, in Alabasta. Crocodile's power, there he is right there. He has the power of the sand fruit. He can turn his body into sand. You can punch through him, he's sand. He's just you can't hit him because he's sand. So what does Luffy do?
How do you beat him?
He got jugs of water and he doused his whole body in like fresh water, not seawater, because that's a devil fruit's weakness. And the water made the sand like harden up so he could punch him. And then when he didn't run out of water, he bathed his fists in his own blood and used the blood as water and punched the shit out of Crocodile.
That is so badass.
Wow.
Yeah, and he pretty much thought of that by himself. Then
Also,
there's
by all
also
accounts,
then there's also you know, coming up with all of his gears. He has second gear, third gear, fourth gear, his variations of fourth gear. But like, he's always improving. He's always getting stronger, and he doesn't look like he's stopping anytime soon. But we're gonna move on because I already gushed about Luffy enough, and I still have two other One Piece characters on this list.
Oh god.
Piece deserves it. It's One Piece. Like,
One
come
Piece
on.
definitely deserves it. It has a fucking legacy, dude.
I'm gonna punch you if one of my favorite characters is not gonna be on the list, but we'll get there when we get there.
Okay,
Oh.
so you're gonna hate me for this next one, both of you, and you know who I'm talking about.
What?
But this next one's a Hunter x Hunter character,
What?
Ooh,
and I need to preface this right away because the reason why I had Reagan in the honorable mentions is the reason why this character is this low on the list. It's this, or Kamina rather. The reason why Kamina was so low on the list is the same reason why this character is lower on the list. But it's Killua.
Damn.
I knew it.
Fuck. Killua, dude. I mean,
I also
no.
okay.
I
Listen to me.
I don't get it.
I also watched the Chimera Ant arc while I was on vacation. I have to rewatch that arc.
Oh,
I was
damn.
I was
yeah.
on vacation when I watched the majority of that arc.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So Killua is very unfresh in my mind, and it was years ago when I watched it too.
Yeah, understandable.
Which is the only reason why he's so low. If I rewatch the series and I get to where I was and like reevaluate my thoughts, Killua will probably be top 10.
I've watched like obviously I've watched the series a bunch of times, but I've watched it in full twice. Like once by myself and once with Dex. So.
Okay. Now we have
Meanwhile, I've watched Yu Yu Hakusho like at least up to the arc 20 like 4 times by now.
the last Overlord character on the list. Ainz Ul Gaon. Bro! Oh, what the fuck is this? Oh, get this out of my face.
One of the quintessential broken protagonists.
He's a very 5-head character. Wait, hold on. We're going in the wrong direction. We're going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, there it is.
Where is it? Come on, show it to me. I don't see it on my game. Fly! Greater magic casting.
Magic
Buffing before the raid.
So yeah, basically, for those of you who don't know Overlord, it's an isekai, like every anime. This guy is stuck in a video game world that I guess becomes a real world. I didn't watch seasons 2 or 3 yet, but I watched the first season.
Yeah, I still don't get it.
So Ainz was playing this MMO. He was originally called Lord Momonga, but he had his whole guild, and he was basically like the best player at this RPG.
One of the best.
One of the best, probably the best, because he was the leader of the guild that was the #1 guild. So
no, he actually wasn't. He was just
Really?
no, he wasn't. The others were more. A few others were more busted. I think the guild leader was the most busted. And you'll get this. The guild leader was Touch Me Summer. Lord Touch Me.
Lord Touch Me.
Amazing.
Wasn't
that sounds like an MMO player.
Albedo's creator?
No, I think he made the Butler.
Oh, okay, cool. But anyway.
Yeah, he made the Butler.
So Ainz wakes up in this world that is exactly reminiscent of the same world that he was like a part of the MMO for like so long. And all of a sudden he can interact with all the NPCs and he can talk to them as if they were real people, and he's super confused. But he has to play it off like he's not in some sort of MMO game. And he acts like he really is Lord Momonga. So it's basically a giant LARP fest.
For him.
Incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, he's actually not as strong as you would anticipate, but he knows the game so well that he seems like he's more broken than he actually is.
Everyone
because he had to beat himself up all those times to fight against Shaltir, which was just an NPC that one of the other guys made. But yeah, you know about Ainz. Like everyone knows about Ainz right now because of that fucking
daddy.
thing.
I wonder what the lizard men are up to.
I wonder what the lizard men are up to.
Aw.
And to cap off B tier, we have another Bleach character.
Is this Aizen?
No.
Is it Ichigo?
Shoot, Toshiro.
Nope.
What the heck?
Ulquiorra.
Ulquiorra. That's right. That's right.
I love this dude.
That's right.
Mainly, it's actually for a very sentimental reason, but I grew up with this metal band called In Flames.
Ah, okay, I get
In
it.
Flames wrote Ulquiorra's theme song, Moonshield.
Oh wow.
And I mean, the Ulquiorra Ichigo fight is actually legendary. Please
That's
watch
the best
it.
fight. That is the best fight in Bleach.
The absolute best fight in Bleach, without question. Yeah, he is the fourth Espada.
Visually amazing, thematically amazing.
Ulquiorra is one of the first Espada that Ichigo meets alongside Yami. And everyone's thinking that, oh my god, Ulquiorra is the
What the? No.
Can we please not? No.
So like,
let's ignore that.
It was basically built up to the point where Ulquiorra was like, he was like, oh, so what's your number? Like, what number Espada are you? Are you number 1? And then he shows the number 4, and he's only the fourth Espada.
Strongest.
And we're like, what the fuck? Who's number 1? And then it's just some bitch named Blast. And
you mean Stark?
Stark. That's what I meant. Blast is One Punch Man.
Yeah. I was about to say.
Do not disrespect it. Aranka number 1. Coyote Star. No, okay, I'm not gonna do that one joke again.
Yeah. Ulquiorra is insane though. He has this big thing with Orihime.
No.
Iron.
She has the big things anyway. Continue.
He has 2 very big things.
I have to rewatch it because I actually didn't get this far into Bleach when I watched it, but I have known Ulquiorra so long that I had to put him on the list. Like I have known Ulquiorra since I've known about Bleach. He's the first Bleach character I was introduced to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not even Ichigo. It was this guy. But that's the B tier.
Okay.
Damn.
Ulquiorra. All right.
Now let's get into some head ass. Wait, I put 28 for Ulquiorra. Hold on.
Whoops.
It's 26. A tier. Number 25 is a Steins Gate character.
He's a mad scientist.
Kyoma.
Yeah, it's Hoin Kyoma.
There he is.
We talked about him before.
Kurisu is high.
Yeah, Kurisu's high.
Kurisu is really high. What the? I didn't think she would be this high. Wow.
Yeah.
I am mad scientist. It's so cool.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Okabe. We've talked about him before. I don't really need to go too into detail about him because Maka kind of covered it all already. But there he is again. This guy is hilarious. He is a very tragic character. He does not deserve anything that happens to him. In the dub, it's actually somehow funnier.
So hard.
Wait, what it is? Okay, oh god,
it's actually way funnier in the dub, in the English dub.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
he
gonna
tries to
watch it
speak like black.
Oh no.
And like instead of son of a bitch, he goes, "Word to your mother."
Stupid.
Yeah, but yeah, we talked about Okabe before, so I'm not gonna get too into detail about it.
Just the link for everyone.
God damn it.
Scientist.
Holla at your boy. Word to your mother.
Suzuha in the back. The perfect expression. Alright.
Okay, 24. We have a Dragon Ball character. I did remember I put Dragon Ball
Ah,
characters on
cool.
here.
Is
Dragon Ball
Um,
character this high?
Yeah,
Gohan?
it's Gohan.
Oh yeah.
Wow, Gohan's high.
Yeah, go
Go-
big or Gohan.
So Gohan,
Hmm.
one of the better written characters in the series, honestly.
Not a big feat.
Turn your
Not a big
laughter
feat.
into
Not a big feat. You're
fear.
right. But
Then
the whole final moment with Cell into like how he's one of the only characters in the show that actually doesn't want to fight, but
Kinda like
he
Mob.
has to, kind of like Mob. It's almost like they kind of took inspiration from it, but
It made it better.
made it infinitely better. Don't get me wrong,
Made
it
it
made
way
it
better.
infinitely better, infinitely better. But it's kind of the same deal with Mob, but Gohan has that eye candy going for him, and so does Mob. But like that Super Saiyan 2 transformation against Cell, you can't beat it.
So
Yeah.
good that Luca had to do it again.
Yeah, it's that good.
Feel drawing
It
me
is
What,
that good.
It's funny though because like the reason why Gohan hates fighting is just because like his experience, like his introduction to it, was just like the complete opposite of how Goku was introduced to fighting. Because Goku like always associates it with like fun and making friends, but like Gohan is just like everybody he knows and loves dying.
Yeah, it's tragic, honestly.
Grow the fuck up.
Yeah, grow up. Anyway, 23 is the final Promised Neverland character. It's
Yeah,
Ray.
Here he is.
So,
Here
it's
he
him.
is.
let's talk about Ray.
Please talk about Ray.
So Ray is neither a protagonist or an antagonist, but rather he's considered to be what is called a deuteratomist. It's like a mixed in between. It's a very weird position, but basically,
I thought Deuteragonist meant is just like the second
I don't fucking know, dude.
protagonist.
He's one of the protagonists, I guess I should say. But like, it's a very weird spot because while Norman was the brains behind the group and Emma was like the motivator,
Emotion.
Ray
The
was
heart.
the strategy. He was the tactician of the group, and unfortunately, I can't go into too much detail about this, but okay, well, it's not really an insane spoiler because it does end up getting rectified at the end. But this guy was ready to freaking set an entire orphanage on fire with him in it,
Mm-hmm.
and
What the heck?
Oh yeah,
he was also spying on the group for the enemy for a little bit. But then the tables flipped. It was almost like a Gen Asagiri Gen moment in Dr. Stone, except it was way more big brain. They definitely whoever wrote this, I don't know the author's name, but definitely wrote it way better than in Dr. Stone.
Wayne Norman. Oh, actually, I'm not even gonna.
But
It was good. It was good.
Ray was basically promised stuff by the lead mother Isabel in order to get information on like possible stuff about the kids and like relay it to them. And he was bribed with like technology and all this type of stuff from the outside world. And he's been doing this since he was 3 years old. When the show started, he was like 11 or 12. So he's been doing this since he was an infant.
Crazy.
But as it turns out, he was doing it because he wanted to get away from everything, and he was devising a plan since he was 3 to get out of the orphanage and get to the outside world. And that plan does come to fruition at the end of the show, although not in the way that he expected.
These kids are nuts.
These kids
This
are
show-
actually cracked.
This show is in general is just nuts.
Yeah, he's a very rational person. I don't want to go into too much detail, but it's basically like there's an argument between Ray and Emma about the concept of no man left behind. And if you couldn't take a fucking guess, Ray is the type of person that would leave someone behind if he had to, while Emma is not that type of person. And so there's this big moral conflict between the group about whether or not you can escape with every single child, or whether or not you can't escape with every single child. And both characters have to toil with that like thought for like a few episodes before they come to the realization that they can and can't, and they both try to act in the opposite way to help each other. It's like a very interesting dynamic between the two main characters. But
Interesting.
but that's where Ray is, and Ray is kind of what holds the show together in the anime, because without that type of treachery and without that type of like premeditation that he has, the show would be nearly as
More
interesting as it
straightforward.
was. It's almost like a Death Note type of thing.
Except I would watch it.
That's
oh my
crazy.
God, that's so deep. I expect him to be around here, so I got no qualms. I respect that. I expect that.
Okay, next up.
Sense to me.
All right, we have a Magi character next.
Shit,
Is it
is it
Aladdin?
Aladdin or Alibaba?
Aladdin.
It's Aladdin. It's Aladdin or Alibaba. One of the two. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna say Aladdin.
Alibaba.
Oh, fuck.
Alibaba Saluja.
Alibaba Saluja.
This dude.
All right.
We're gonna find it real quick. Just find it. Where is it? No.
There's multiple of them.
no.
That is an amazing picture.
I was gonna say
That
which
is an
one.
amazing picture.
This art is so good.
Dude, the Magi art is great.
Oh, we're already in the gifts.
No, come on.
No,
It's
no,
gotta be here.
no.
It's gotta be here. Yeah.
What is that face?
Wait. I got a better one.
This show is amazing.
So Alibaba
I gotta watch
Saluja.
this sometime.
Yes, you do. It's guaranteed. It's 100% you need to. It's in my top 5 anime. So Alibaba, he was once the rightful heir to a throne. Got disowned by his parents, I think, and then he lived in the slums of the same city that he was royalty in.
Oh my god.
This entire moment is just amazing.
It's fucking
shit!
awesome. But yeah, there's a lot of the first season has to go about Alibaba and struggling with his past in the slums and shit.
Alibaba, Alibaba.
Fuck, it wasn't the gift. Shit.
Yeah, whatever. All right. So yeah, Alibaba. He was the one chosen by Aladdin as his king, because all Magi have to choose kings in order to guide them to whatever type of land it is. I don't know.
Real quick. As I said before, the Magi world has a bunch of kingdoms. Each kingdom has their own Magi, which is like their grand mage, I guess. And Aladdin is one of the Magi. So that's what he means when he said. Yeah.
Honestly, I like this dude a lot because he's funny. I'm not gonna lie with you. He's just so funny. He brings a lot of charisma to the show. And I mean, it's just bias for me, honestly, because like Alibaba is just like Magi is such a good
he's a
series.
likable professor.
I love Magi so much, dude.
He's really likable. Not in like the cool way that like Joseph and like
or
like
a top
Joseph
5 candidate is.
Uh-oh.
He's relatable. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he has good intentions. There's a part in the manga that's really funny where like he struggles with trying to get a girlfriend a lot. It's actually so fucking funny. But like I can't really put it into words because like it's such a misunderstanding, and like that's kind of like his whole shtick. A lot of the things that Alibaba does that are funny are all because of misunderstandings that he has due to overthinking the situation.
Yeah,
that's why I love him.
I'm in this anime and I don't like it.
Oh.
Aw, dude. So yeah, that's Alibaba.
There it is. God damn it. This is so
okay,
dumb.
21.
All right.
Is a Naruto character.
Oh
Naruto
no.
shit.
I have no idea.
And it's not Obito.
It's not Obito.
um,
Is it
wow.
Itachi?
Nah,
Kakashi?
not
I
Kakashi.
feel like Kakashi would be a lot higher.
Shikamaru?
Shoot, I don't know.
Is it Lee?
Nope.
Gara?
No. Wait a minute. Let me just check my list again real quick.
Um,
Wait, what the fuck?
wow. Yo,
Oh, okay, okay,
Naruto's
yeah. Okay. Um,
Naruto's cast is huge. I'm not sure.
yeah, it's fucking Naruto.
Oh,
Ooh.
Naruto himself. Okay.
Yeah,
I
Naruto.
did, I did not expect that.
Okay, I respect this. Yeah, I respect this.
I don't.
You have to watch Shippuden in order to get it. That's
Yeah, well, guess what? I'm not watching it.
Well, then you're not gonna get
Look,
it.
okay,
You're not gonna
okay, you know,
understand.
no, okay, no, like you can talk about Shippuden. Let me put some respect on Naruto's name real quick, because I've talked about this before. There's this whole stigma that's like been in the anime community for a while about how like Naruto kind of cheats, right? Because like the Nine Tails does pretty much all the work for him, and like most of the major fights he wins is because of the Nine Tails are not quote unquote his own strength, right? Which is true. Which is true. That does happen a lot, and a lot of people say that kind of cheapens the whole theme of the series that that hard work is supposed to stand up to natural talent and beat natural talent if you work hard enough, right? And that also leads a lot of people to say that, oh, Rock Lee should have been the protagonist of the series. Rock Lee is a way better character than Naruto, right? To which I say no, because if you actually pay attention to the series, that is not the main theme of the series whatsoever. That is a part of the series, but it is definitely not the focus. If you pay attention, Rock Lee lost the freaking fight versus Gara. If that was one of the main themes of the series, Rock Lee would have beaten Gara. The point of that fight was, yes, hard work isn't always going to beat natural talent. You're going to get screwed every now and then, but it's not worth just sitting on your ass and not doing anything just because the world sucks. Because what did Lee do? He even before he was healed, he got up and he started training again. The main theme of the series is overcoming hatred. That shows up way more, especially in Shippuden. So why does this relate to Naruto? Um, a big freaking
Is it
surprise, right?
obvious? Isn't
But
it obvious?
if you like, you would think it would be obvious, but like so many people miss this, and it's like criticize him in ways he shouldn't be criticized.
The
So look,
kid is the fucking
um,
Nine Tails Jinchuriki. He
so
is literally houses that
yeah,
shit,
go
and
ahead.
everyone hates him for it because it killed the fourth Hokage. It destroyed the village, whatever. He got all that hate because of the stuff that happened that he had no control over. He was literally just born and that shit happened, and everyone hates him. He had to
I'll compare
overcome that.
him. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm
But
finished.
I'll compare it. You good? I'll compare it to three different characters. I'll compare it to Sasuke first, right? So Sasuke, of course, his main outlet for hatred, at least in part one, is Itachi. Itachi killed the village. He doesn't know what happened with Itachi and why he did all that stuff. All he knows is that Itachi needs to die, right? So he's like, oh, my life goal is literally to kill Itachi and avenge my clan, and that hate completely consumes him. At least up until the Itachi fight, and even after the
Yeah.
Itachi fight, when he realizes what happens, he like I won't talk about part two, but like he gains new outlets for hatred, and just his entire character is just consumed by this salt, like
He is
constantly.
salt.
Everything he does is out of
Salte
salt.
Uchiha.
And human Neji in part one, he hates his curse of being part of the branch family. He hates Hinata just because of her heritage, not because of the person Sasuke Uchiha. He hates her because of her heritage, not because of the person she is. And he's like, even he talks to Naruto about, oh, you don't know how it feels like to be like born with a mark that sets you apart. You can never escape your fate, which is what he feels because of like the fate he's been cursed with. And then you look at Gara. He freaking gave into his hate. He gave into being like this demon that the Sand Village branded him as because of the Knights or the One Tails, excuse me, Shukaku, right?
Shukaku.
Now, in contrast, let's look at Naruto. Like Flair already said, he was born in a pretty crappy situation, got this demon stuck inside of him. He got shunted by everybody for like for reasons that he couldn't control. However, unlike the previous three characters, what did he do? He didn't give in to the hatred because if it wasn't really expanded on in part one, but in part two, it becomes really obvious. If Naruto really wanted to just mess everybody up and be like, screw you, y'all hate me, y'all are dicks, I'm just gonna let the Nine Tails out and let it destroy the village. He can literally do that at any time. The reason his chakra control is so bad is because the Nine Tails is literally just constantly tempting him in his subconscious to like just let the seal go and let him take control. And it happens in part two. It happens 3 times. It happens like what versus Orochimaru. It happens during like the Rasen Shuriken training, and it happens versus Pain, where like the Nine Tails gets let out. So he's constantly dealing with that. And even in the face of all of that, he decides to like be this golden experience for everybody around him, or at least he tries to be to the people he considers his friends.
Jorno.
And like that,
I knew
that
it.
carries throughout the entire series. And that's something that Naruto does better than anyone else. I don't think I've ever seen another protagonist. If anyone can think of one, like let me know. I've never seen another anime protagonist with the mental fortitude of this dude. And it's like it's not even to the point where he's like a perfect goody two shoes character either, because has like I don't know Flair. I don't know if you remember, but like in part two, where like the Raikage, the Raikage, he tells Naruto that like, oh, we're going to kill Sasuke, like well, that's it, we're going to send like a platoon after him, and Naruto just has a panic attack, like he collapses right there. Because I'm not going to talk about it too much, but a lot of stuff is going on, and then on top of that,
Yeah, he
he
finally
finds out like
broke. Like that's like the one breaking point.
he just like has a breakdown right there. He like passes out for a couple of days. It just he has his moments, and even there's like this when
Hell,
he's like in the water.
this is gonna
Go ahead.
sound like a very weird example, but that moment broke him, and something that like this is gonna be, like I said, it's gonna sound weird, but remember when Sakura tried to comfort Naruto during the whole thing by
Oh my god. Oh my
telling him
fucking
that
god.
she loved him, right? He was able
Fucking
to
bitch.
see that. He was able to see through that shit and
Which
like
is
just put it
nuts.
past him. Despite everything happened to him, despite everything that he wanted to do, he loved Sakura to death. Like all that, and I
Well,
like everything else is
like
self-explanatory there. Like
yeah, like what happened was Sakura wanted to go off and kill Sasuke herself, right? Because she eventually realized that she like made Naruto promise towards the end of part one that he would bring Sasuke back, and Naruto is like, okay, fine, and he continues this promise up until like throughout part two. And Sakura eventually realizes like, okay, I'm like I'm like border.
wait, what?
What?
Yeah, he's in one
Oh,
second.
okay.
So he basically realizes that like I'm like borderline abusing this guy. I'm making him keep a promise that he might not be able to keep. He's literally risking in his life going out of his way doing ridiculous things just to fulfill this promise to me because he's like this knucklehead. He's a shonen protagonist. He has to do it, right? So she resolves to kill Sasuke herself, and she's like she lies to Naruto, telling her like, "Oh, I love you now. Don't worry about Sasuke." And Naruto's like, "No, I hate people that lie to themselves." Because he could see that Sakura was lying. He just didn't know why.
Believe it.
Hey, what's up? So, oh,
Date
wow,
yo.
that's
Wow,
it.
that timing.
So yeah, he's not, especially in part two. He's not an idiot. He's still like rather idealistic. He thinks the world can like achieve peace and stuff, but he's not perfect. He has his moments of weakness, and I don't know. He deserves more respect than he gets.
Yeah,
IMO,
for sure.
Okay.
especially in part two.
You done?
He's agreed to.
Oh my god, he said you're done. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's just he doesn't have the attitude of a kid who has been isolated from the rest of his community
But no,
at the
and
start of part
I
one. Anyone?
actually I should have brought that up.
He
There's a
doesn't.
there's like, but he can't. He literally, I didn't emphasize this enough, but he literally cannot. He's not allowed to because this is probably the worst part about his character, like the most tragic part. How Sasuke grieves, Gaara grieves, and that Neji has his salt moments because of the trauma they've endured. He's literally not allowed to grieve because the times he's grieved, one, It's with the final fight in Sasuke in the end of part 1. And what happens? The Nine Tails takes him over. What happens when he grieves versus Orochimaru in part 2? The Nine Tails takes him over. What happens when he grieves? When Hinata dies versus Dane, the Nine Tails takes him over. And it takes his dad's spirit coming back and sealing the Nine Tails back to turn that off. Like, he literally cannot be allowed to be like down in the dumps for too long. Otherwise, the freaking fox comes out and destroys everybody he cares about.
Oh,
And
I was
even with
supposed to know that in part
fox,
1,
right?
though.
also,
Oh, yeah, you
there
don't.
was no reason for him to grieve beforehand because he never met his parents. He never met his family. He never met anybody that was close to him except for like Sasuke or whatever. And everyone he never met his dad, which was the fourth Hokage, because he fucking died as he was born, Kushina. So he grew up without anybody to look up to like that. It
Like
ended up being Iruka Sensei.
his
Yeah,
isolation
but
was
like
his
when
routine.
he was
That's why he was
before
used
that,
to
like
it.
where did he live? Like what?
What?
I guess that's just my issue. Is like I don't understand like who took care of him.
It was Iruka.
Oh, no. Actually, no. Iruka was like
Wait,
later. I
Because
think.
he met Iruka like after, or like he didn't really get to know
wait,
Iruka
what do
until
you
like
think?
the
No, I
show
think the
started.
third Hokage. I think mostly.
Who did you ask? Who took care of him?
Yeah, who
Yeah,
took
like,
care
who
of him
ta-
as like a baby
Who
and shit?
takes care of Naruto?
No one did.
How did
He got sent into he did. How did he?
How
What
did
he
he
cut out?
take care of himself
As
He
an
fu-
infant.
since an infant? What?
Again, what happened? I think it was like the third Hokage took care of him up until he was like
10.
even 10-ish. Or 10, actually, yeah, 10-ish. And then he just like got kind of plopped into a house.
Like,
It was really bad.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Sarutobi
got
was just like, all right, I can't take this fucking kid anymore.
What?
No, he got us.
and,
He got
and
us
gave
on
him an apartment.
because he had the fucking Nine Tails inside him, and everyone's fucking scared of him. So nobody wanted to take care of him.
Yeah, so he took care of him for 10 years and then said, all right.
You can take
See
care of
ya.
yourself. Because every
He-
kid
he
at that
knew-
age was going into Ninja Academy.
Right.
Okay.
So he had
So he couldn't
day
take care of
job.
him anymore because he was going to school.
no, because he had shit to do anyway, and then he comes home,
He's
makes
the fucking
himself food, goes to
Hokage,
sleep.
dude.
Well, he had enough time to take care of him for 10 years.
You want to lead a nation and take care of a demon child at the same time? Let me know. Let me
That
know how
doesn't
that
answer
goes.
my question.
Funny because Sarutobi would beat the shit out of the Nine Tails if
Yeah,
he actually turned out.
really.
But
Anyway, we're moving on. We have to move on.
I just don't
Naruto's
like him.
fine.
I'm sorry. I just can't.
Put
I can't
respect on
jive
his
with
name.
him.
It's literally not that hard though. It's not that deep.
Number 20 is another Magi character.
This
It's
is
not- it's
this is
Aladdin.
Aladdin.
It's
Oh
This has to
yeah,
be
oh
Aladdin.
yeah, it's Aladdin. Edit message. Oh shit, wait.
The boy.
Yeah, there he is. That's all you need to put. Don't even need to put
hang on.
Aladdin's
Did
name.
I? Oh, I'm an idiot. Hold up.
Huh? Uh-oh.
Honey.
I kind of put all of A tier into separate messages. So it's gonna be harder. It's gonna be harder to pin them. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, we didn't know him last time.
Whatever. It's fine.
It's not a big deal. Okay, whatever. Aladdin.
Wait a minute.
That one.
Wrong one. There we go.
Main character of the show. He is there's a lot going on with him actually.
He's a little perv.
Yeah, he's a little perv,
Oh.
first of all. But he's also the descendant of a man named Solomon. And by descendant I mean he's his literal son.
Oh.
Along with the mom, which is it's in the manga, but like it's not getting animated soon because nobody loves Magi.
Feels freaking bad, man.
Feels so bad.
It's-
So you first
He's
meet
vibing.
this kid, and he is raiding a caravan of watermelons and eating them all by himself.
Dang.
Then he blows on his flute, and these giant blue arms that look like anchor arms come out of this flute.
Anchor arms.
And I was a wimp before Anchor Arms. Yeah, that is a pocket Jin named Ugo. And Ugo does most of the fighting for him until something happens and when he fights against this other guy named Judar. But yeah, Ugo's. Yep,
Oh my
there he
God.
is. That's him.
That's the scene. That's the scene. That's the one.
Yeah, he's eating watermelons and shit. And as it turns out, this kid is a Magi. We've already gone over what a Magi is, but this kid was the fourth Magi, and it's kind of weird because the world was under the impression there were only three.
I should mention real quick, the broken thing about Magi is most characters, like magic users, are only able to draw upon their own personal magic. Magi are able to draw upon like magical energy from nature,
Yes,
which is literally everywhere. So,
so
they're like they have like infinite energy.
look at the GIF on the
Oh.
screen right now. Do you see those like little butterfly things in the background?
Oh yeah, I can see him.
Those are
Sorry, I was
called
focused on
called
his
Rook.
wacky flailing
Yeah.
arm.
Those little things are called the Rook. Essentially, the Rook are these energy, like that's like the magic power that people can draw upon. Um, Nobody can really see them except for Magi.
It's life, basically.
Yeah, it's basically power given by an entity that it's heading into the spoiler territory, but
No spoilers.
those Rook are basically part of a bigger entity, which is basically God. And the Magi can see them and harness their power. So Aladdin is stumbled upon by Alibaba in the first episode, raiding Alibaba's caravan that he works for, and they hit it off from there. The girl Morjana is there too. They get stuck in like this giant Venus flytrap monster. Alibaba vows to protect Morjana like on a whim, and Aladdin at that point recognizes Alibaba as his king. Um, but other than that, he's just like a goofball kind of. For some reason, a lot of like older women, like very beautiful women in the verse, really want to sleep with this kid.
No, it's the other way around.
Or he wants to sleep with them, but they're like all about it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When it comes to Alibaba, the
Yeah.
poor guy gets like Elizabeth.
Hold on.
You gotta find Elizabeth for X.
We have to. No, that is not Elizabeth at all.
Persona.
That is not my Elizabeth. There she is.
Oh my god.
Magi is really funny.
It is very funny, but it's also very serious, and it can get to like some stupidly dark territory, like in the giant flashback in the manga.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can preface that a little bit, because it's probably not going to show up in anime anytime soon.
Yeah. And no, Bleach came back after
Yeah,
freaking 8
freaking
years.
Bleach
Who knows,
came
man?
back. Yeah, so Magi has
Who
a chance.
knows?
Magi has a chance. But anyway,
What is Bleach?
moving on. What was I saying? Oh yeah.
Flashback.
There was a flashback scene. Basically, there was this guy named Solomon. Solomon was the son of this other king named David, and they didn't like each other. I wonder where that's from. But I'm like stumbling on my words here.
Pretty good.
We've been going on for like
Pretty much Sinbad. All right, Sinbad. I want to talk about Sinbad so bad already, but like
Later.
well, yeah, we'll talk about him later when he's in top 5. All right, so Aladdin. He's a descendant of Solomon. Solomon is pretty much not God, but he's like very close to it.
Jesus, basically.
He's
So
basically
kinda.
yeah, he's basically Jesus. And Aladdin was like in the first 2 seasons trying to figure out what his purpose in the world was, because he doesn't really know.
Yeah, his whole character arc is kind of like a coming of age because, like, in the first 2 seasons here, he's traveling the world trying to own up to his Magi status, and eventually he finds out about his heritage, and then he just kind of has to like
Own up to it.
accept it because he's obviously look at him, he's really young. He's not ready for that kind of crap. So
Yeah, he's not ready for any type of responsibility that a title of Magi presents itself. But then again, Judar is a Magi, and look at him.
sure.
Fucking asshole. I hate that kid.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna move on. I want to talk about more about Aladdin, but I don't really have my thoughts together on him. So
That's cool.
next up
It's
is
also probably hard trying to wade around spoilers.
Yeah, it's hard. But we don't need spoilers for the next one because it's our final JoJo character.
Please don't be Jotaro. Please don't be Jotaro. Please don't be Jotaro.
It's
Please
gonna
rather
be
be
Jotaro, you know, and I can feel.
Is it Giorno? Oh, wait,
Bruno
no, it's
Bucciarati!
Yeah, I got excited.
boys.
Not that Bruno!
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh my god.
Have fun spelling the name.
There he is.
I'm Italian. You think I don't know how to spell his name?
What the fuck is
Mr.
I know?
Zipperman himself.
Mr. Language
Yeah, remember how I
teacher.
said that a character
This
on
is
this
the-
list would be
This is
higher
the taste
because of
a
the
poorly written character, Giorno Giovanna. Yeah, go ahead.
So remember how I said that Joseph was lower than the next character that's part of Look at his lips! I said that because Bruno is a fucking tactical genius, best stand user,
Yep.
just best Italian mom. Just
Bruno's OD.
he's just we
Italian
already
mom.
talked enough about him in the last video. Arrivederci, Bruno. We out. We're just gonna go on to the next one because we've already talked about him last time.
I'd like.
He's so good. Next up is the final Bleach character.
There he is.
Yeah. Come on.
Two skills.
Come on. We already talked about him too. What the fuck?
Not this.
Who are you?
Oh,
Not this
God,
Aizen.
Literally who? Literally who, dude? The super the
Sausage.
Sausage.
Oh, come on, bro. I'm really trying to tell you.
I'm German. I'm allowed to.
I was gonna edit it, but
There he
anyway,
is.
yeah, there he is.
There we
Aizen.
go.
We talked about him last time. We went over how fucking nuts he is, how broken he is, everything like that. We don't need to wank him more unless you really want me to, because I can go on for hours. But
Oh.
I mean, look at that fuckable face.
every character in Bleach is fuckable. Except Yami. Yami's not fuckable.
Even you know how fuckable the Bleach characters are. Hold on. So
Okay,
this is her normal
What the
form.
heck?
This is what she normally looks like. But Kubo went out of his way to give her this. She also has this form. So yeah, even she counts.
Mwah.
Alright,
Mwah.
alright, that's all I wanted to say.
Um,
Aizen's great.
yeah.
Now for the next character, I want to preface that I haven't finished this series yet. I don't know much about these characters, but I know how good they are going to get into the future once I finish it.
Oh shit.
Number
Okay.
17 is Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh
Hell
snap! This is
yeah.
high. Who is this? Look at this.
It's
Is it
Kurama.
Kuwabara?
Kurama.
Okay.
Okay.
I meant Kurama, not Kuwabara.
Yeah,
I'm an idiot.
Kurama. We went over him last time too. In I don't know what place you put him at, but he was relatively high.
I
He
had
was
him
around
at,
here,
yeah,
like 19.
I had him at 15.
Oh,
That's pretty
nice,
cool.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah. We already went over him. He's super cool. My favorite of the main four, but obviously
He's definitely the coolest
definitely
of like the
coolest.
four.
I think he's my third favorite.
Because the next character is the other Yu Yu Hakusho character on here.
Is
I only
Is it
put
Yus-
two. It's Yusuke. Yeah,
That's well,
Hiei
I mean-
didn't make it because
16.
Oh, fuck yeah, you're right. I see 17 and I immediately go down. Or up.
You mean up?
I mean, I would go down on 17 too. I mean, what?
God damn.
You good, dude?
Bitch, I might not be.
Yeah. Yusuke, total badass. From what I've seen, like, there's a reason why he's the main character. Like, it's just
Oh yeah.
Let's just say the family jewels haven't been stolen.
we already went over him.
Not gonna ruin my day.
I'm gonna just say 2 words. Justin Cook.
Next up
Yeah.
is the final Steins Gate character,
Kurisu's at 15. Wow.
Makise Kurisu.
That is high.
Like I said in the previous video,
cons-
but
Considering
a lot,
considering everybody else on this list, that is high, dude.
dude, Kurisu
Wow.
just grew on me after the series ended, man. It's kind of insane, actually. She,
Shit.
like, a lot of the stuff in the series wouldn't have happened if Kurisu wasn't there.
And yeah, she's like, think about it. Ren Okabe has an IQ of 170, and Kurisu's the brains of the group.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Like,
170?
yeah, like I already posted the screenshot like when I was watching the series, but like her father was like a world-renowned like physicist or
Scientist.
something, a scientist, and she was like understanding his papers in elementary school, like on some broken anime 5 head BS. She's ridiculous.
Yeah, she's insanely smart. Unfortunately, like, a lot of the stuff that happens to her, like, no one deserves anything that happens in this show.
Oh hell yeah.
But, like, without Kurisu, this show literally would not, like,
Nothing.
any
Yeah, hell no.
type of impact
They
at
don't.
all.
They don't get the time machine without Kurisu.
They don't get any
That-
type
that's
of development
just
without
one thing.
Kurisu.
They don't. Nothing happens.
Nothing
They
happens
get a
without her.
what?
Like, and like, I don't know if X is planning to watch Steins Gate, but
Maybe.
I am.
yeah, okay, you are.
Okay,
All right, then
okay.
I am not going to. I'm not going to go too far the other end, but
Thank you.
it's
Kurisu-tina.
very, very important character in the show. In fact, probably the most important character in the show, despite not being the main character. Okay, I've been racking my brains trying to justify this placement, and I think for number 14, I finally have a good one for this.
Okay.
This is the next One Piece character.
Is it
Is,
Sanji?
It's not Sanji. Sanji did not make the list.
Oh.
This is going to throw you guys off so hard, considering how much I talk about Sanji and all of One Piece and all that. Number 14
Is it Frankie?
Usopp.
Usopp. I didn't see
So,
that. Wow.
Let me explain.
Okay.
There's
I
a
can respect that.
specific. Yeah, I know you would like that. But, like, for other people, Usopp does not seem like the type of character that is a good character because he doesn't know how to fight.
Oh my god, what happened to him?
He got stung by bugs.
No, Frostbite.
Oh, that's not frostbite, bro. That's not what frostbite does to you. A lot of I can't look at this picture seriously. Oh God, Usopp. There's a good one. So, a lot of people look at
his
Usopp
lip.
and see this wimpy character who doesn't like to fight, who doesn't know how to fight because he's a pussy, and all of this. But in actuality, this is one of the best written characters in the show.
Oh yeah, free.
There's a scene in, I'm going to reference Alabasta again because Alabasta is such a good arc, but there's a speech that Usopp makes to two minor villains or whatever, but it's the first time that we hear one of the Straw Hats confess their, like, devotion to Luffy. And he says, there comes a time in a man's life when, I forgot the actual quote. Iron could probably say it by heart. You know which
No,
quote I'm talking about. What?
I do. I don't. I cannot recite it.
He goes, there comes a time in one man's life where he has to, where his friends are laughed at, something along those lines. I won't let you laugh at his name. Luffy's will be king of the pirates, yada yada. But it's like, as stupid as it sounds,
okay.
because I can't remember the quote by heart, it's actually such an important quote for Usopp.
There comes a time when a man is to stand and fight. That time is when his friends or dreams are laughed at.
Yeah.
I won't let you laugh at that.
I won't let you laugh at that. Luffy will become king of the pirates. which is it's such a developing moment for Usopp. And then like during Water 7 when he dons the facade of Sogeking. I mean, wait, what am I talking about? Sogeking's a different character. But
The king of Sniper Island.
yeah. By the way, can we just talk about how good his aim is real quick? So
Actually
Usopp's
busted.
aim is so good that his father is on Shanks's crew as their dedicated marksman, and he's better than him.
Wait, is he?
Yeah, he's better than him. There's
Is
a
it
there was
confirmed?
like a point where like Usopp's dad I think was actually like around Usopp or something, and like Usopp hit a target that he couldn't, like in one of the earlier arcs, I believe.
No. That was not Usopp's father. That was another guy
Oh.
who lost to Usopp's father.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it reminded him a lot of the Sniper King himself, like the actual Sogeking, which is Usopp's dad.
Yasop.
Yasop, yeah. He also has some of the best observation hockey in the series. There was a point in Dressrosa where he had to take this giant slingshot and fire it across an entire city to land a very small pepper pill thing inside of Sugar's mouth. Sugar being the person who was able to transform everybody into toys. Yeah, her. She was able to transform everybody into toys by touching them, and they couldn't do anything about it. That's it. That's her power. But
Oh my god, these faces.
But-
One Piece art, dude.
Usopp was able to calm down, use his observation hockey to reel back, get the exact angle and time when she was going to turn around from a certain thing to land this thing in her mouth and scare her to deactivate her power.
Also look through a wall.
And look through a wall while doing so.
Wait, I actually don't what the heck.
And then after post time skip, Usopp actually shows like he's going to be a really good character, but he kind of backtracks for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that happens, but like the pre-existing moments. Oh, and before I even go on, we have to talk about the whole separation of Usopp and the Straw Hats during Ennie's lobby.
Oh yeah.
Very,
Yeah,
very sad moment. But he's fighting for what he really, really believes in, and when he left Syrup Island, he left with the ship, the Going Merry. And when the Going Merry couldn't go on anymore, he didn't want to leave it behind because that was like the start of like the real adventure. They sailed into the Grand Line with Going Merry. They did everything with Going Merry. It was basically the next member of the crew.
Right.
He didn't want to leave that behind, especially considering that what's her name? Who's the girl that
No.
Yeah, Miss Kaya. Kaya One Piece. Considering that was the girl that he kind of liked at the time, and he like that's like memories of her too.
Right.
So he didn't want to leave that ship behind, but Luffy was like, we kind of have to. We have no choice. And he got so mad that he basically rejected everything that he said in Alabasta in one moment, and even challenged Luffy to a fight, knowing he wasn't going to win. He did it out of pure pride. Like for himself, for the merry-go, for everything. It's just like he has the determination to be like one of the best characters in the show, but he's also held back by his lack of self-confidence, his lack of confidence in general. But he also feels like he can't do it. But then when he puts his focus to it, he can do better than almost everyone on the squad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah, he's a bit of a tragic character in a sense, but like he also provides comic relief at the same time. He's just I don't know. He's just very, very good. Very good. definitely one of the more underrated characters on the squad.
Those dudes you just like as a person.
Yeah,
be a
for real.
dope friend.
You can't hate Usopp. Like once you like people hate Usopp because they don't understand him. But once you do
Exactly.
understand him, he becomes like such a beloved character.
He's actually genius.
Very smart too. All right, number 13. Next Naruto character.
Oh shit!
Actually, wait, can I?
Is this Itachi?
I gotta
Oh
go.
yeah, it's Itachi.
Use bathroom. Real
Wait, what did X ask?
He has to go to the bathroom, and you know what? I'm gonna do the same thing.
Okay,
We talked
understandable. Itachi. Is there even anything left to say for Itachi? I don't. Oh, we didn't. Oh no, I can't brought this up. We didn't even mention Shisui.
I think we went over it in text afterwards.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't talk about Shisui like on the recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really have to. There's not much to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
We can go over it real quick when everybody gets back. I have one more Itachi. Feed wank too. This dude is nuts.
Oh no.
Funny because Obito is still like way more impressive than him, as good as Itachi is. Very stupid.
Bro, the Queen of England survives coronavirus. She's immortal. She's 93.
Eventually, it'll eventually happen. We do have new JoJo characters.
Oh, God damn it, I got a nosebleed. Hold on.
What'd you do?
Nothing.
Oh, I hate that.
Look at here. No, just kidding. I did nothing. That's not bad. Actually, no, I'm gonna leave for the bathroom.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, that's 1 of 2.
Who else is missing? Is Flare still going?
I'm just waiting for Flare at this point. Ooh, okay, so there's one more One Piece character. This is the 3rd Naruto character, right?
No, this is the second.
And there's
Or what?
oh shit, there's one in top 10. Who's left?
Kakashi probably.
Oh yeah,
We're back.
understandable. Well, Flare isn't back.
Oh, what the fuck?
So you said how many characters did you say you had on yours?
I might add some more now that I think about it, just to like.
Okay.
Actually, like
just some characters that are on these lists that I didn't have it.
Remember that mine? I think I missed a bunch.
But yeah,
I sat on mine
tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, I sat on mine for like weeks, just editing it. So as long as you need.
Mine's probably a little.
Well, of course, I was like
cobbled together, but still.
It's fine.
and a lot of them are from the same series. I think I have some interesting picks though.
Raiden on there.
Who?
I got like 48 characters right now on my list.
Sheesh. Well, I mean, your library is bigger than like all of us, so it makes sense.
Yeah, but it's like
Michael, who did you say was? Were you asking was on mine?
Raiden from Metal MGR.
Maybe.
Yes.
oh, yeah, you also
I do have some things to say about Metal Gear.
oh yeah, oh but Metal Gear, that Metal Gear is amazing.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you all about it
I know all
when I do my list anyway.
I don't. I know, like.
I'll try to condense it to where it's understandable because Metal Gear has it's a lot. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I got that feel.
But it's good. It's really good. I haven't played it, but I have like watched somebody play through all 4 of the main games. So, like I know most of the majors.
Yeah, same here. It's nuts. Especially 4, which is more cutscenes than gameplay. By a wide amount. But it's good.
Metal Gear Solid 4 is a very good movie.
An interactive movie.
Flair, what the heck?
He had to take a big piss.
There goes a guy. There goes a guy.
Yes. I just noticed there's 200 characters left.
Bro, I have so many hundred
Okay,
characters
sorry
on my
about
list.
that. Sorry about that. My dad
Yeah.
called me, FaceTime me for my birthday.
Oh, that's
And-
nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, but because I'm quarantine.
Really quick, check meme dump.
Bro, low key, my last 3 birthdays have been hella unluckers. Why is this funny? Yeah, my last 3 birthdays have actually been super unlucky because 2 years ago I was sick on my birthday, like in bed sick, like it was really bad. Then
Oh god.
then last year I got fucking ruined by my sister, and
Oh, God.
now
I
I'm
remember.
quarantined when I'm not even sick. Anyway, let's talk about a broken ass character.
To say the least. Also, a cat called us out. We didn't even talk about Shisui.
We did not
last
talk
time.
about Shisui,
No, you can.
but we can preface Shisui now. A cat, you're welcome. Itachi Uchiha. There he is. So yeah,
It's him.
there he is. Itachi. We already talked about a lot about him, but I think Maka can go into detail more about Shisui more than I can because I'm actually kind of a little foggy on the whole Shisui deal.
Sure. Tragic character. Basically, I'll make it short. So we talked about the whole Uchiha massacre last time and how Itachi basically got like forced to kill his own clan. Shisui
Right.
was his best friend, also a super good Sharingan user. And Shisui, he had this one really good jutsu called Koto Amatsukami. Basically, it's Lelouch's Gias. If he casts the jutsu on you, he can place a command on you, and you have to follow that command. Period. You're not aware that you're like being hypnotized, but you have to follow that command. So
At what point in
Shisui's
time were you under the impression that you weren't under my jutsu?
pretty much, yeah. So Shisui's idea was to place like, fuck, I don't completely remember right now. Shit, I think it was like to place the Uchiha under the Koto Amatsukami to like to help everything go peacefully. And Itachi was like something like, no, that was like that's like fake peace, yada yada yada. So that didn't work, not working out. And yeah, so shit. I'll explain this to X real quick. So you see how Itachi has the Sharingan like in this
Right.
picture right here, and let's say the normal Sharingan,
Right.
and then oh shit, oops. Then let me go find one. Here, is it? Is it here? No. There has to be a picture with his freaking. This one where you can see it, dude. Can someone get a picture of his Mangekyo just in case I can't find it?
Itachi's manga?
No, it's okay. Right here, right here, right here. Okay, you see how his Sharingan is different there? So
Yeah.
that's like, yeah, that's the next level of the Sharingan. It's called a Mangekyo Sharingan. Basically, if
gets
an
better?
Uchiha goes through a super like grievous event, if they have a big sad and they get the big
If they have
power.
a big sad, they
So
get the big power.
yeah, Itachi are Uchiha are really tragic. So Itachi kind of figured that he needed that power, one to go through with killing all of the Uchiha, and two just to like to protect the village afterwards in general, because he ended up infiltrating the Akatsuki and being like a double agent, and the Akatsuki are really broken, so he figured he needed that power. So TLDR Shisui he ended up for what he figured was the greater good. He and Shisui like agreed for Itachi to kill him because Shisui was his best friend, and then he used that. That was the grief he needed to attain that power. Goes through a lot of crap.
Poor Itachi. Give me a second. Had to take a bite to eat.
Oh, while Flair's eating, we're gonna jack him off real quick. There's one more thing I want to mention.
Oh, please
So,
go ahead.
in the final arc of the series, in the Fourth Great Ninja World War, long story short, after Sasuke kills Itachi, Sasuke goes blind afterwards, after his fight with Itachi and his fight with Danzo, another dude, because he abused his Sharingan. So basically, he he arranges for Itachi's eyes the eyes from Itachi's corpse to be like transplanted into him. And when that happens, when like an Uchiha takes another Uchiha's eyes, they get like a buff because they get to keep like the like strength they got from their eyes plus the transplanted eyes power, so they get what's called an eternal Mangekyo. So Sasuke got super buff, right? Because he has both Itachi's eyes and his. And later on, Itachi gets like Edo Tensei reanimated, the same thing Orochimaru used to bring the Hokages back. And basically, Itachi was so good that he's basically as strong as Sasuke with his normal Mangekyo. Because they team up to fight someone later on, and Itachi is like even keeping up with Sasuke, even though Sasuke has his buff. I thought that was pretty funny.
He's
Even with like
broken.
He's
Itachi
broken.
plus Sasuke, technically Itachi is still like even with him. It's kind of nuts.
Can we talk about just Leaf Shinobi in general are just actually busted? Just
The-
all
the
Leaf
Leaf-
Shinobi.
But
Yeah.
why?
I don't know.
Hypers.
I mean, leaf, paper beats rock, so there's that.
God, Keck.
Yeah, that's Itachi. I think that's pretty much all we missed with Itachi.
Okay.
Numero 12.
Numero 12. Where is my pictures on my phone? Ooh! Time for
Shit, it is.
the next Demon Slayer character.
Demons this high?
Is it
Wow.
Tanjiro?
It's Tanjiro.
Wow. What? Damn, that's high as hell.
So
I didn't
lot
expect
of
this.
shit
I didn't
happens.
expect this at all.
A lot of shit happens with Tanjiro that you actually like wouldn't really suspect. But this kid, you literally see this guy grow from the very beginning. And you constantly see him putting in the work and the dedication and the time and the energy, the sweat, the blood, the tears, everything. You see everything going into his sword. when he's training, when he's fighting, when he has to protect his sister. Literally everything that this kid does, he has to put 152% of his effort into because he's not good enough. He's new. Every single fight he had with any of the demons that he fought in the part of the anime were all extremely close fights that he almost died from. And he was getting away based on like using like almost all of his brain power because he's really not that smart. He could definitely try, but he basically is a very fundamental swordsman. Now, there is a scene in Demon Slayer, as opposed to the other anime he's in, fucking Kakegurui. You see his hands, and his hands, like, I don't know if have you ever seen a chef's hands?
No.
So a chef's hands are actually very, their fingers are much larger. Or like a construction worker's hands. They're always much larger because they're always dealing with something with their hands, and they're always like putting in like force and pressure. Like I haven't gotten the chef hand buff yet, but
They're very rough.
I'll be getting it later. Tanjiro, you see his hands, and like there's like no skin. Like all of the skin on his hands has been ripped off just from training as much as he did in the way of the sword. Like, I think X would very, very much like Tanjiro if he watched Demon Slayer. But in terms of like his actual character, very compassionate human being. He's a very sweet boy. He loves his only family he has left, which is his sister, who is now a demon. For some reason, yep, there she is, Nezuko.
Is that why she has the thing in her mouth?
So yeah, the thing in her mouth is to make it so she doesn't bite people because she has like an urge to eat human flesh that she's actually still trying to fight. Like when she becomes a demon, she like tries to like eat Tanjiro with those teeth. See that? Teeth. But that's when Giyu Tomioka comes in. Now I would put Nezuko in the list if she had a character, but because she doesn't she doesn't talk because she's a demon and she always has a thing in her mouth. She always has that little thing blocking her mouth. She doesn't really show much characteristics, except from like feral animal instincts that she gets from being a demon now. More. But Tanjiro is like ready to literally die for his sister and to protect him, even to go up against Demon Moons, to go up against other members of Demon Slayer Corps themselves, just to keep his sister safe and to just keep her like whatever. You know what I mean?
I can respect that.
All right, go get her off my screen. We're talking about Tanjiro right now, not Nezuko. And it's like a whole big thing when he like does the superpower fire strike when he uses water techniques against Rui at the end of the anime season 1. But yeah, other than that, like he's like he just kind of like is nice to almost everybody that he meets except his mortal enemies, in which case he will literally destroy them. He's ready to. I'm not saying he will. But I don't know where he got I don't know how the scar turned into that, but like if you look at let me just get rid of Tanjiro real quick and put him up again. Oh, whoops. Let me see if I can find him before he got that thing on his head. There it is. See how it changed?
Oh, that's weird.
I literally have no clue how it happened. Nobody knows.
Does.
He just has this scar on his head that transforms into the red thing.
The red thing.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how that happened. Maybe someone can clarify for me in the comments, because I'm not going to look it up. But
Let me snort.
Really, really cool character. all of his fights are actually super epic.
I did not expect him this high at all. Like that blindsided me.
Yeah.
I think
I respect it.
Usopp is the biggest blindside yet.
Yeah, definitely.
Number 11, the final, not the final Dragon Ball character, but another Dragon Ball character.
What, not the final
shit,
Dragon
I don't
Ball
know.
character? Oh wait, I know who's going to be like the highest. I know.
Number
who it is.
11
Is it Frieza?
is Piccolo.
Piccolo. Oh,
Yo, let's go.
He deserves it. He's the greatest black dad of all time.
Oh god, here we go. Bring on the memes.
No memes. Piccolo is the father that Gohan never had, and that's not even a meme. That's not even a meme.
No, it's not. Nah, that's a meme.
No.
It's a meme, dude.
Well, okay, all right. Well, at the end of the Cell Saga, Goku actually shows to be a pretty good father at the end. Like, oh, I'm proud of you, son. Yada yada. By the way, I'm fucking dead.
I don't know, because Piccolo realizes that Gohan doesn't like fighting, and when Goku puts him up to fight Cell, Piccolo realizes that before Goku does. So I'd say
Piccolo is always around
he does
Gohan
know
and Super now.
Gohan.
Like, it's crazy.
But you know why? Because it's not even, for the most part, it's not even Goku's fault. Up until like his entire relationship with Gohan, he raised him right up until Raditz came, and then Goku dies. And
Yeah, but he
for
has
like
a whole
while.
year to train with Gohan in the time chamber. So
Hold on.
I feel like in that 1 year time span, he would have, asked Gohan if he wanted to do this.
Can we also talk about the amount of times Piccolo sacrificed himself for Gohan? Saiyan Saga. Protecting him in the Frieza Saga.
What else was it?
I'm pretty sure it happens in the Cell Saga too. Maybe once. I don't think so.
I just realized Majin Buu didn't even make honorable mentions.
No, dude. Listen, I put personal bias aside. I know I am a huge Majin Buu advocate, but I am very well aware.
Vegeta's only like number 3.
I'm very well aware that Majin Buu is not a good character. I just like him.
Fair.
And you like the Buu Saga.
And I like the Buu Saga. That's because it's because of what I grew up with.
Get this.
So yeah, Piccolo. He does a very good job at being a guardian. And like his transformation from an evil villain to like an anti-hero of sorts to a good guy to an overall bro. Like, he is a very, very good character. Also, he's got the fattest drip in the entire series. Look at that. Look at his head. Look at his shirt. He's wearing the undershirt, but he doesn't have the purple showing underneath his yellow. It is clean. He is fit.
I dig it. This freaking filler episode. Oh my god.
I love it.
It's funny because like,
what are you talking about? It's canon.
Piccolo at first, he's just kind of like trying to be his dad, I guess, and like over time he sort of realizes that he's not his dad, like he's his own person, so he kind of has that self-awareness, I guess. Kind of realizes he's his own person.
Maybe that's why he resonates with Gohan so good. Similar motive.
Yeah. Piccolo. And with that is A tier.
A tier pretty.
Oh
stacked.
boy.
And now for the
big
top
boy.
10. Top 10.
Number
10 is
the
the last Dragon Ball character.
Oh wow.
Oh,
okay.
here he is. Oh snap.
Fucking
Oh,
Vegeta.
Yeah, we jacked him off last
You know
time.
we gotta play.
You know what we gotta
Every
play.
hell's bells.
To get it.
Specifically this Vegeta right here.
Yep.
That's a good shot.
But it's not. Oh no, the bot isn't in this Discord. Whoops!
Boat machine broke.
It's alright, it's okay. We don't need the music, it's fine. It's fine. We all know Vegeta's theme song anyway, because this character is very iconic. We kind of went over everything about Vegeta last time.
I was a proud warrior, cold and ruthless. I lived by my strength alone, uninhibited by foolish emotions.
I don't care what you say. Like the original dub of that, just like completely blows the Kai version out of the water.
Oh yeah, that's
A
like that's
lot
the
of
best part. That's the best part of the Z dub.
see, here's
Probably.
the thing: a lot of the Z dub Vegeta quotes, if not all of them, are better than the Kai ones. Because
Dang.
Like this
it's
is what
just
I
go ahead, go ahead.
this is what I like that Funimation used to do is that they gave more substance to things back when they were doing their original dubs. That's why Yu Yu Hakusho was like so good because they added
Quote, they
like they could have
smelled.
just stayed true. They could have just like followed the original script to a T, but they added the bit because when he says at the tournament when he's talking to Goku and he talks about like being subjugated by Frieza, like having to live under Frieza's rule for most of his life. He doesn't mention that in the original script, and they don't include that in the Kai dub. And I think like they include that because it's just like another facet of his character is like having
It
to live
fits.
under someone else's shadow, and that's just kind of how he's been all of his life. Is that he's always been second fiddle almost.
Yep.
Works. It like it should work, but like on one hand, you get Vegeta, but on the other hand, sometimes you get Goku. There's Superman Goku, and it's kind of
Yeah,
sometimes that kind of happens.
I also want to preface, I originally had 11 as a Goku instead of Piccolo, but then I thought about it, and I actually really do like Piccolo more than Goku.
Yeah.
Like as a
Oh yeah,
character, that's
yeah, he's
kind
a
of
better character.
it's a better
I
character.
mean, yeah,
Like just wanted to
Goku
put that
just
out there.
doesn't really. I would say he doesn't have an arc. He just stops developing by the time Z happens
Yeah.
because like his story is already pretty much done after Dragon Ball's finished.
But yeah, that is Vegeta.
Still.
Number
Pretty good.
9.
Mm.
We got a Death Note character.
Oh
Oh
shit!
boy. Oh, here we go.
El Desu.
Ryuzaki, Coil, Denev. Many
All of them.
names this
He's
man
all of them.
has.
I'll
But
give you a strawberry if you don't tell anybody.
look at this. Mad names.
Yeah, he's got a lot of names. But yeah, we covered L before. We know a lot about him. There's a lot to go over if we do decide to go over him again. But I think we'll keep it brief. Reiterate the points from the last video. L is fantastic. He always will be fantastic.
Would like to point out one thing I really like about Death Note in general. This has to do with L. Don't worry. It doesn't. Of course, like one of the themes throughout the series is justice, right? What makes true justice? Who has the right to decide, like the fate of people who should be punished, right? And it doesn't present an answer. What it does is it presents a question and it gives arguments. And because of that, and of course, neither L nor Light are like perfect. Neither of them are like truly evil, truly good. They both have this thing where if you pay attention, both of them kind of feel that might makes right. Because throughout, even like near at the end of the series, he straight up says this like the whole fight between L and Light is just an ego battle for like who's the smartest guy in the world. They don't like L. This, but L, one of the things about L is he only takes on, because he's the greatest detective in the world, right? He only takes on cases that he personally finds interesting. Like he doesn't, he's not like obligated to do any case. So when Kira shows up, he's like, holy crap, this is like the most prestigious thing any detective could ever ask for. This is something I will give my life for. And he does some shady stuff to try and catch Light. And of course, Light does some shady stuff to try and like finish off L. And so, Flair, you've seen the series, so like this kind of puts one of the earlier seasons in perspective, where they both shout out like I will catch you, I will kill you because I am justice. What did they really mean when they say I am justice? It's just that I am justice because I am the smartest, I am the strongest, not necessarily because I feel that I'm right. Because really, the whole fight is just a pride fight. It's not necessarily like a moral fight.
Yeah.
Not completely.
It's just the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. It's just a mental big dig contest. L's dope.
L
I can
is
Death
drive with
Note is
that.
dope.
very dope.
I might watch it, Marcus. You know,
What?
I'm thinking about it.
If I watch Soul Eater before you watch Death Note, something's wrong in this world, bro.
Number 8 is the last Naruto character.
What the heck? Wait,
I wonder who it
Kakashi?
is.
No, it's not Kakashi.
What?
Who the fuck?
What
Oh,
the heck?
hold on. I have to hold on.
Wait.
Who on earth from
He's looking
Naruto?
through his guidebook.
Wait, it's not Obito?
Not Obito.
Can we talk about how broken Madara is? Oh my god, dude! Not you! Not this not Madara! Get off my screen!
Oh my god. Oh, we have some flexes to talk about. Oh my god, I should have seen this coming. Madara is
Madara
literally
motherfucking
OD.
Uchiha! Holy
Madara is OD.
shit. Holy shit.
This dude, look. Oh fuck. Did he even he got more life for Madara?
Toast complete GG.
Oh, we didn't even get that picture on the recording. Let me post it.
Oh shit. That's the picture.
Let me go get the freaking picture.
I had to.
Tuska stab GG. I am the solo king. Yo, it's his fucking face right here. This face right here gets me. Oh.
Alright,
Anyway.
so let's talk about Madara's flexes real quick. He was introduced in part 1, right? Like, you know who he is?
Yeah. I mean, I know who he is anyway.
Okay. This dude, oh my god, one of the most hyped up villains in anime history. Like hundreds and hundreds of chapters, he was hyped up before the time skip, after the time skip. We have
Didn't
the
even
fourth
show
great
up.
ninja.
Then his name dropped off the face of the planet for like 100+ chapters until they brought it back. We still didn't see him. And then he gets rezzed in the Great Ninja War and claps everybody. It is so insane. Just
Also, he
Like
hacks.
he's
hacks-
so hyped up
Go ahead.
where just Obito taking on Madara's name is enough to scare the entire world into going to war. And then he actually comes back and he literally just solos the entire alliance. Like we
Also,
already talked about the meteor, right? It's nuts.
He's
Yeah.
dead, gets brought back to life, and then he fucking hacks himself into permanent immortality.
Oh my god! It's fucking crazy. Like, okay, what happens is like Sasuke and we already said like Sasuke and Itachi team up eventually, right? Sasuke teams up with Itachi, who's reanimated. They fight the person who's like controlling all of the reanimated people. Because like the fourth grade ninja
Kabuto.
war is like the world. Kabuto like is like the world versus a bunch of like zombies basically, and Kabuto was controlling all the zombies. So
this
Itachi
guy.
eventually convinces
Yeah.
Kabuto to undo the seal. And then Madara's like looks at himself as he's like disintegrating. He's like, oh, I see the Jutsu caster has been defeating. Hey guys, you want go ahead and tell the Jutsu caster don't mess around with forbidden Jutsu. And he releases the seal by himself and says like F you, I am staying. And he just big dicks his way out of dying again.
But he keeps the regeneration.
He's cheating.
Literally cheating. And then there's so many Madara flexes, dude. He fights the 5 Kage, right? He fights every single Kage
At the
once.
same
And
time.
He's like
Oh my
slapping them
God.
around, like he's just bodying them. And it gets to the point where he summons a bunch of clones, and then like he has the clones fight them, and he's just like sitting back, and he's like, "Yo, hey guys, hey, do you guys want the clones to use Susanoo? Do you want them to? You want them to just go roll up with Susanoo? Just let me know. Just let me know." And the Kage just staring at them like
What?
him,
What did you
like,
just say?
are you fucking kidding me? And he's just casually flexing with his clones while not even being serious. He's
And that's in base.
Also,
Excuse me?
Because
also Hashirama self.
Hashirama cells.
Oh my
Yeah, he has
god.
Hashimoto cells on top of that.
Oh
You know,
my
that
God,
broken thing.
dude, what is this?
Yeah.
And that's in
And
base.
then he becomes the 10 tails Jinchuriken. That's a whole other can of worms.
The Light Fang. The fucking Light Fang, which is supposedly the speed of light.
Is
Like, literally the speed of light. Freaking...
Oh my
we could
god,
go on for
dude.
hours. We could literally just go on for
we could
hours.
literally go on for hours about Madara.
He gets limbo clones that you cannot even see.
He has clones in Limbo! That's right, he has clones in Limbo!
So freaking
What?
he revives himself again. Like so basically he eventually he does a jutsu called Rene Rebirth, which literally brings him back to life. Like he's a reanimated corpse. He literally gets brought back to life. And then the first thing he does when he gets brought back to life is he fights every single tailed beast. But you know what's impressive about this? When he comes back to life, his Sharingan disintegrates. He doesn't get any eyes. He doesn't have any eyes. But you know what? He uses all of the Sharingan techniques without any eyes anyway. He still uses Sharingan. He still has this jutsu because he's Madara Uchiha. That's how. This dude, and he's just like casually slapping all of the tail beasts at once, and it's ridiculous. It is absolutely
This
ridiculous.
guy put the mad in Madara.
Bro, this guy literally got hyped up for over, I think, a decade. Like, a whole ass decade before he
Real
actually
time.
even showed up. In real time! In, like in
and he
real
did.
world. And, like, oh my
Wow.
god.
Did not disappoint. I remember the chapter when he showed up. We were all freaking out because like we all thought Obito was Madara, and like, wait, no, this is Madara. So who the hell is behind the mask? And that like kickstarted the whole "Who is Toby" mystery again.
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 Yeah, because it happened the
Madara.
first time because everyone didn't know who he was at first and they thought he was Madara.
I mean, I mean, maybe I'm just being an asshole right now, but the moment we were introduced to Obito in the flashback, it was like, okay, this is so fucking obvious. Like, there's no other way that this guy is not Obito. And it's like, I'm Madara. And I'm like, bullshit. No, you're not Madara.
He's so insane. He's just so insane. Okay. Number 7.
Madara.
The
Number
last Hunter character.
The last Hunter
It's
character.
fucking Meruem, of course it is.
Of
Oh,
course.
Meruem. Hey, what's up?
Yeah,
Wait, do we
Meruem.
have-
Yeah, we talked about him.
Yeah, we talked about him before. I have to fix
Mr.
this.
Meruem.
I can't misspell this guy's name. Like he'd come and kill me. But
Right.
He looked like he wears a bike helmet.
It
this
kinda
guy's
is.
earlobes put NLs to really good competition. Let me just tell you that.
I have some
But-
things to say about him, but I will save it for my turn.
Yeah. Wait, with your list or your turn to talk while Meruem's up on the screen?
No, on my list.
Okay, yeah. We went over a lot about Meruem last time, considering he was the
Displacement.
number 1 spot. But like I said,
He's number two.
he was number 2.
Pico. Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, with all the Hunter x Hunter characters, I need to revisit this arc specifically because I watched it while I was on vacation years ago. So like I have.
So
Very
considering
little-
that, I'm surprised Meruem is still this high.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Like I still remember all the games that he played with with
Komugi.
Komugi, yeah. So like that alone, and then hearing his thought process and everything like that, it's fascinating. And then his fight with Netero, it's just this character's insane, actually insane.
Another
Number
person I have something to
6.
say about.
Number 6. Oh boy, the final Cowboy Bebop character.
Spike
Baby.
Spiegel.
Spike
High,
Spiegel.
but it's Spike Spiegel. So
Get this shit off my screen!
no. Let's
Don't
not-
even kid around like that, bot. I'll disown you.
I'm
I just-
disgusted. Freaking disgusting. Anyway, but I was gonna say this is high, but it's Spike Spiegel, so you know what? It's okay.
Yeah, Spike
It's-
Spiegel.
By the way,
Holy shit,
Yeah.
this guy is smooth.
This
I know
is
he's voiced by Steve Bloom in the dub, and that's kind of all you really need.
By the way, Steve Bloom also voices Alex Mason in Call of Duty Black Ops, and he does a fantastic job in that too. Steve Bloom also does voice acting classes, and I low-key considered signing up for them.
Coming from there, one of the coolest badasses in Jaw, because usually like anime badasses, they're like super bloody, they have like all these crazy feats. No, Spike is just a cool dude.
He's just insane.
He's just a really cool dude.
One of his best lines from, I believe it was a movie, was when he's fighting that lady while he's wielding the broom or whatever, and she goes, "The more you know, the more I have to kill you." And he says in the utmost confidence, "I love it when a girl can kick my ass." That is the greatest line ever. But anyway, a little bit of backstory about Spike. He's constantly on the run from Vicious. That's why he teams up with Jet, I believe his name is. Let me see. Oh, whoops.
I forgot about
Yeah,
Spike.
Jet Black. There he is.
Mhm.
Yeah, he kind of bums around in his in Jet's spaceship and does bounty work for him.
Right.
Almost like partners. They're pretty much like partners, but Spike is on constant run from Vicious, which I've talked about Vicious in the honorable mentions hours ago, but I'll just briefly mention that Spike had an affair with Vicious's girlfriend, and
Right.
only Spike could do it to, especially to a guy like Vicious. But there's also his ideology on fighting and how he conducts himself while fighting hand to hand. It's actually fascinating. He describes that his body has to be that of water. Your body has to flow naturally like water. Actually, you know what? I think a better idea is I'm just gonna pull up the clip and show it off of YouTube real quick. Just give me 1 second. Spike. Wait. Hold up. I gotta go off on a tangent real quick, but Slime Season 2 official trailer dropped 3 days ago, and I had no idea. Oh my god, I'm actually hype. I am actually hype.
Okay, dude.
I'm
How do
actually
we go
hype.
from Spike Spiegel to
No,
Slime?
we're going back to Spike. Cowboy Bebop Water.
Bro, the slime bottle beat. Oh, there it is.
We're gonna watch this together.
That is very sad. I don't want to watch it.
I'm telling you, don't tense up.
Okay,
How am I
countdown.
gonna knock someone out if it's all limp?
It's not about strength or power. You gotta be fluid.
Huh?
You have to be like water. You see what I'm saying?
Not even a little bit.
That's what I thought. All right, come at me with a knife.
You're gonna get hurt.
Just do it.
Here I come! How did you do that?
You're tense, I'm calm. You apply excessive force, and I control that force through fluid motion. That means relaxing the whole body so it can react instantly without resistance, without thought. Do you see now? It means becoming like clear water.
Water.
Right. Water can take any form. It drifts without effort one moment, then pounds down in a torrent the very next.
Maybe I get it, but then again,
His dub is so good.
It's so good, dude.
Oh, freaking good.
So what I gather from
Bloom
this.
is a legend.
Wait. So what I gather from this scene, Spike mastered Ultra Instinct.
Yeah, pretty much. Spike claps Goku, GG no re, fluid like water.
Something water.
So that's Spike's ideology on fighting is actually super fascinating because it's not about hitting the guy hard. It's about controlling the opponent by using their motions against them. And for something for a series that's not really invested in the fighting itself, it actually speaks volumes as to how they program their fight scenes for Spike.
Right.
Because he is in fight scenes and he is in gunfights and he's like, he has his tense moments, but he's
You
always.
actually you it's not BS either. You literally see that.
You literally see it. You see it happen. It's so insane. Spike Spiegel is so amazing. He is so good. Spike.
I'm not mad at this at all.
Number 5.
You gotta spell Spike. You gotta spell his last name. Just swap the E and the I.
Oh, might be. I can't disrespect my mans like that.
By the way, something that not everyone knows, they ripped the Naruto fight, Kawabiya fight
Yeah.
there.
Huh! How about that?
Look at that.
This was so funny when I first saw this stuff.
Like,
Crazy. That's actually kind of nuts.
It's not even.
Number 5 is the final One Piece character.
Zoro.
Of course it's Zoro.
Hell yeah.
Dude. Oh my god, dude.
I'm gonna say right now, Zoro is not even on my list.
What?
Wait, really? Are you serious?
Well,
yeah.
Iron's got acquired taste. Zoro. If anybody suffered throughout the entirety of One Piece, they still didn't suffer as enough as Zoro.
Yeah.
This guy went through so much to get to where he is. And like, there it is, right there. That picture.
Perfect.
That picture right there. Zoro literally took... Alright, so let's talk about another One Piece character named Bartholomew Kuma. He has this very weird power where he has paws on his hand like a bear. And these paws can repel
Oh my
stuff.
god.
Yeah, he's a fucking monster. These paws can repel anything.
Bro, he is like
a repulsion
90% torso.
Yeah, One Piece proportions, am I right? Yeah, don't worry about that picture. That's actually not Kuma. That's a pacifista. But the pacifistas look like Kuma. Anyway, Kuma has this repulsion power on his palms that anything that he touches gets shot back with the force that could probably send things into orbit. Like, it's very strong. Now, what other stuff he has is he can control what can get pushed out if he touches something that has multiple layers to it. And for Luffy's case, after Luffy finished his fight with Gecko Moria in Thriller Bark, he was able to push out all of Luffy's pain and suffering into like this paw-shaped red bubble.
All the damage he had
taken from his fights previously, and because Kuma was about to kill Luffy, and Zoro had to stop in and hit him with the Shishi Son Son real quick. Best attack in the world, by the way. That attack is so cool. Right here. So this clip, Luffy takes out all the pain and tells Zoro to take a small fraction of it, right? It enters Zoro's body, and he writhes in pain. He's writhing in agony. It's just absolutely in like his body's being ripped to shreds from the inside out. And what does he do? He gets back up and he shoves his hands in the rest of the orb and takes all of it. All of it at one shot. And he stands there like in this picture and just bleeds. And he goes, "This is nothing."
Bro, that's not even the busted thing. The busted thing is when you see the place around him. Hold up.
The place around him explodes. Like the amount of damage that it shatters the surrounding environment around Zoro.
Absolute badass.
Hold up, let me see. There, got it.
Look at that. Look, that's like the blood. That's all of his blood spurting everywhere. Like,
oh my god.
And he's standing.
with his arms crossed like a badass.
And Sanji right there, he comes along and says, "Wait, what happened to you?" And he's like, Nothing
happened. His eyes are bloodshot, like bloodshot to the point where the white is all red. Like, that's how bloodshot. just like
Yeah.
that. So
Freaking nuts.
what else about Zoro can we go on? Well, he uses 3 swords. 3. He has 2 in his hands and 1 in his mouth. He carries a sword in his mouth and fights with it. He at one point in the series, he can wield up to 9 swords at once with his Ashura ability, where he grows 2 other heads and I think 4 other arms.
Yeah, but I still don't know.
But
I think
that's
it's,
more of an illusionary technique, I think.
yeah, because he's so fast or
But
something.
he calls it the 9 sword style. And the guy that he's fighting up against, Kaku, who's a giraffe man, he's
Giraffe.
freaking out. Yeah, he's a giraffe man. He loves giraffes. He loves giraffes.
Cool.
No, I don't think you understand. He loves giraffes.
Oh, I don't like that.
There he is. He loves giraffes.
Why is
But
he a Minecraft?
Oh, Kaku in the CP I just zero outfit is insane. That's anyway. Yeah, this guy was freaking out when he saw 9 swords on Zoro. Because he was already dangerous enough with 3, and now he tripled the amount of swords he's slashing with.
No, of course.
And then they're slicing Pika in half. For instance, Pika has the power of the Stone fruit, but he can amass any amount of stone into one giant mass, and he was able to get an island's worth of stone amalgamated into a giant stone statue that lived and basically transferred his body around it. And Zoro just comes up, clads his swords in armament hockey, and slices through the statue.
Yep.
Hello?
It's freaking crazy.
He's so cool, dude.
By the way, that's the feat that they used to calculate why Zoro won the battle against Ursa in Death Battle.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Bullshit. She got a meteor in half
First,
in a weakened state.
It's just on some.
And honestly, Zoro is the absolute most level-headed person of the entire group.
Well, yeah, that's actually true.
He is the 100% most level-headed person in the group. In the arc where Usopp leaves the group for a little bit, and everyone's like, you know what? Let's go get Usopp back. Let's go get Usopp back. Zoro actually stands right in front of the door and blocks everyone in and says no. And it's like, what's the matter? Why don't you want to? He goes, because he made his choice, and no matter what happens, Luffy is the captain. And if you're going to disrespect the captain like that, then you are not welcome on the crew. And if any one of you goes out there and tries to find him and bring him back here, I'm the one leaving. Fucking legend. He's a fucking legend.
Understatement.
Zoro is just... And he had such a hard pass, too. Like everyone on the crew had a hard pass. But, Zoro's pass was a little, it was not as rough as everyone else, but it's pretty insane. One of his best friends died while she was very, very young. And he actually keeps seeing images of her in a Navy officer that's trying to hunt them down. Because they look very much alike, and they are both katana wielders. In fact, he was the one... Yeah, Kushina.
Not you.
Kushina is the Navy officer.
No.
But
no.
Zoro has stumbled upon cursed blades that just kind of accept him as his owner.
That's the Navy officer.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, there's Tashigi. Yeah. She's a swordswoman as well. But the person that she resembles is one of Zoro's main training partners and best friend in the sword dojo that he was part of. And she died when she was very young. But she was the only person to actually in the dojo that was actually being able to defeat Zoro in a fight while he was using 3 swords. Because he was using 3 swords while he was a child as well.
Wow.
Just
From then on in,
constant,
he
like,
decided to hunt. He was hunting pirates. Stumbled across. Yeah, there she is. Um, he was hunting pirates until he got caught by the Navy. Luffy rescued him in the very beginning of the series, and then he became
Oh yeah, by the way,
Luffy's right-hand man.
he got caught. But this guy.
This guy.
Wait, no, that's the wrong picture.
Oh my god, his chin.
No,
Oh,
don't. Just. There he is. Literal dickhead.
Bro, do you know the 4Kids version of that scene?
No. Not yet. After.
Okay.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, I have so much to delete now.
gotcha.
Holy shit, I'm out of breath just from talking about Zoro. Oh.
Gotcha. Zoro, dude.
You don't put
He
any
deserves it.
disrespect on my man's name. That's
He's amazing.
And honestly,
Like,
I feel like if it wasn't for Luffy's like overall tenacity and like the shit that Luffy does to get stronger, I feel like Zoro would be the strongest on the squad. Like no
Yeah.
doubt.
doubt it.
There's also his relation to Dracula Mihawk, which is one of the 7 warlords of the sea. The best swordsman in the world currently, and his mission is to take him down. He wants to take down the best swordsman in the world so he can become the best swordsman in the world. And he fights him in the early series. And let me tell you how so cool this scene was. He gets absolutely fodderized by Mihawk. And then Mihawk turns around to end him, but then Zoro turns around and just sticks out his arms and shoves his chest out at Mihawk and says, "Scars on scars on their back is a swordsman's shame." And Mihawk's just like, "Yo, I like this guy." And he spares him. And then Zoro, from then on in, said, "I vow to never lose a fight again." And he goes to Luffy and he goes, "Do you have anything to say about that, Pirate King?" Fucking amazing character, dude. Zoro is just phenomenal.
Everyone likes Zoro for a reason. He deserves that. 100%.
Now then.
I just like the other characters more because I'm a simple, dumb person like that.
Number 4.
One Piece has like OD characters, so even being in top 4 is a super honor.
I don't think this character needs any introduction other than the following.
Oh shit.
It's
Shit.
It's Sinbad.
Oh shit.
Oh my god, he's here.
Ladies and gentlemen,
boy.
his sheer presence brings Fredbone into the chat. It's Sinbad, baby. It's fucking Sinbad. Do I have to go on?
There he is.
Everything we talked about last time was.
Bro, if I scream any harder against it,
Did you like go back and watch like everything I said about Sinbad while you were gone?
No, I didn't.
Okay, we basically went over it.
We went over everything about Sinbad before, but his sheer presence, his sheer existence in this world deserves music. If no one else gets music, this man does.
One more thing about Sinbad. So, in Magi, basically, we already talked about All-Thumb, like the terrorist organization, right? So they're doing this thing where they're going around the world and like making people what's called fallen, which we already talked about the Rook, right? Like the life force butterfly.
That's by the way, that's the first shot we see of Sinbad.
Yeah, that's it. It's an introduction. Anyway, we talked about the Rook.
And he needs a leaf that big. So, I'm just letting you know.
So, fuck, I forgot what I was saying. Sinbad, yeah, Black Root. So, they're going around and corrupting like people's like people's energy into like black magic basically. And when your energy is like when your magical energy is corrupted, you basically become what's called fallen. And you're like your rook turns black, your energy turns like black and purple and stuff, right? So, um
Oh, I know where this is
basically
going.
they get to
I
they
know
get
where this is
to
going.
yeah they get to freaking like the main cast, right? And Sinbad is with them at the time. And they what you call it? Freaking so Sinbad gets like afflicted with like something that the terrorist like organization like puts on him or something like that, and basically they're kind of freaking out because they think he's going to end up falling, like his energy is going to get corrupted and stuff. So they send Alibaba and Aladdin and Co to go get like a potion from like this dungeon or like this concoction to like free him of the magic, right?
Oh yes,
So they
gotta get
go,
good.
and then one of the terrorist dudes rolls up on Sinbad while the rest of them are gone. Is like, ah, I have you by yourself now. They won't be able to make it back in time, and they won't be able to kill you from your fallenness. And then Sinbad just looks at him. They're like floating in the sky. They're about to fight, right? And then Sinbad rolls up, and he goes into one of his dinner clips. Hang on, it's here. It's here.
I'm pretty sure it's folklore.
It's folklore. Hold on.
I think it's number 4.
Where is it?
Number 4, like in the.
Is it number 4?
I think so.
He knows the freaking
I
number.
think so.
Of the
I
thing.
think so. No, it's 7.
No, it's
Oh, no, it's 8. Okay, let's go.
eight.
This
Eight,
one.
eight. So, do I have a picture of the what he does it in the anime? Wait, no, come on. Give me 1 second.
I fucking love that song. Oh my god.
Honestly, this entire OST for the series is amazing. I've already listened to a lot of it.
Same composer as
Oh,
Bleach.
perfect freaking. Here we go. So, perfect freaking picture. All right, here we go. So they're like floating in the sky. They're about to fight, and then the terrorist guy is like, "Aha, you're gonna be cursed now." And Sinbad just like activates focal, right? He goes into his genie clip, and he pulls out Black Rook himself, and he starts dual wielding like normal energy and corrupted energy.
Are you
And the
serious?
terrorist dude is like, and he's like, "What the fuck?" He's like half.
He's like,
fallen.
wait,
How
that's
is he
illegal.
Wait, that's
He's
illegal.
literally cheating. And he
He's
turns to the
cheating.
dude and he says, "Unfortunately, my body's already been cursed." And he's just like casually wielding this like forbidden energy that's supposed to take over your soul and stuff. And then
He
he's like,
has
"Look, he said,
forbidden energy on lock.
look at this."
And then he just
It
dispels the
doesn't
curse
even matter
himself.
to him. And he's like, "Well, I feel bad. I wanted to keep this a secret. I feel bad for sending Aladdin and Alibaba to go fetch that cure for me. I didn't really need it." And he just wipes out the terrorist dude. It's just this super badass scene. Sinbad is so cool.
That's why
He's
he's in the
amazing.
top 5, dude.
That's fucking nuts.
Oh man, I am out of breath. I am out of breath. Bro, I literally, alright, so around the 10, when you were talking about L, I actually DM'd Iron to add Fredboat to the chat specifically so I could play Sinbad's music in the background because he deserves it. He deserves every little bit of it.
You're welcome.
Thanks, dude.
The first class
No.
singularity.
And now for
There's
our
still
top
3 more characters.
3.
Wait,
Still
let
3
me
more.
guess,
I
let
don't
me guess.
even.
It's
Damn, Light didn't make top 10.
one Mustang.
Or top 50. So
Number 3 is the last Code Geass character,
oh my god, he is high!
Lelouch.
I'm not mad at this.
Lelouch
I
deserves
feel
it. Lelouch deserves every little bit of it, dude.
Lelouch is OD. Lelouch is crazy. I feel like if I had watched Code Geass before Death Note, I would have had Lelouch higher than Light. I think he's better written than Light, definitely. He is a super good character.
Probably more likable
Like-
too.
Yeah, it's
Bro,
definitely.
he just will
He's
not
like-
let this
he-
die.
you basically watch, you know, like most anime, like most people's favorite character isn't the main character, like they jerk off the side characters. You pretty much watch Code Geass for Lelouch.
Yeah,
Like, easily.
there's no reason not to. There's no reason to watch Code Geass other than to see Lelouch do some crazy shit.
Lelouch is so good, man.
And
He
his
holds the
five
series
head.
together
His
easily.
fucking 5 head, dude. There was one point in the series at the end where he literally put the entire world under his spell. Like,
it's
it's
nuts.
insane. All
Of
right.
course, Light is really smart, but like Lelouch is smart to like a nutty degree. Because he's an exile prince. He didn't really have that much formal training in anything, but he's like this master battle strategist. He's like this financial genius because he's able to like control the Black Knights throughout all of Code Geass. He's able to like allocate funding as needed for his terrorist organization. He's able to run it from the shadows as a high school student. He has like he at one point he like pilots this mech that most people in the world can't pilot because you need like advanced understanding of physics to even like understand how it's going to move in the air. He's just like he's got like a Gary Stu.
So
It feels like at some point it's crazy.
you can't fly the snake. You haven't watched Rick and Morty.
It's no Lelouch is crazy. He's super cool.
Number 2. The last Death Note character.
Oh,
Oh my god.
whoa!
Get out of here, wrong light!
Whoa!
So why is Light above Lelouch? Well,
Whoa! I didn't see that coming.
I know what that means for number 1, though. I know what that means.
yeah, you do.
Don't.
Light.
It freaking Yagami.
Let's just do that. Yeah. Why is Light above Lelouch? I feel like there's way more depth to the infinite amount more depth to Light than there is to Lelouch.
Okay, go ahead.
It's hard to say, mainly because it's been forever since I watched Code Geass. But for the longest time, Code Geass was my favorite anime. For the longest time, it was my favorite anime. But then I watched freaking Death Note, and like, you know, as a more mature person, I can see like all the symbolism and like the allegories that people make to it and everything like that. It's just Light, just for right now, just especially since I just got off the series. His character is so well written. He's just insane. The entire series is insane.
I think Lelouch's, because of course people compare them a lot. They're like these like super genius high schoolers that aren't exactly morally just, right? So there's a lot of parallels between them. I think Lelouch's like mental journey throughout the series and the way he develops and like realizes that the world is like this thing that he's done. He's like holding the fate of the world in his hands, and he can't like he matures from wanting to make the world a better place for his sister to wanting to make the world a better place, period. And like he sacrifices his own personal happiness in crazy ways because of the way he matures. I think that journey is more interesting than Light's mental journey, but the way Light's thought process is portrayed is so much better than Lelouch's.
Well,
Like
that's
we're
like the
just
main
made
focus
to
of the series too. Like
yeah.
that's
Yeah, we're like made to accept Lelouch as a genius because he's smart. Light, like Oba explains why Light is so freaking smart, especially in the manga. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's like Game of Lies, but 100,000 times better. it Death Note's great.
yes, it is. Okay.
Oh wait, that's okay. Oh, we're going
The
to see the
number
number one.
one character.
Who the
I know.
fuck is it? Did we finished off JoJo? We
I know
finished
it.
off Naruto.
Imagine.
We
The
finished
last
off
Full Metal Alchemist character.
Oh my god.
Shit.
Wait,
Edward. What?
wait,
You know-
hold on. Am I retarded?
Why? Who'd you think it was?
I thought Roy Mustang.
Dude, I like Roy Mustang and all, but let's be real. There's no holding a candle to Edward than it is to Roy Mustang.
Wow.
Like, Edward, oh my god, dude. You see this kid, alright, so
I need to watch it.
from the beginning of the series, you can tell that Edward has already been through a whole lot. Like, his mom died. He tried to bring her back with forbidden alchemy. Lost his brother, his arm, and his leg in the process. Also seeing a reanimated corpse that was supposed to be his mom, not his mom, obviously. Had to kill that thing. Had to seal his brother's soul into a suit of armor at the cost of his arm and his leg. And
Burnt
ever
the
since
house
then
down.
has been on a journey to find, not even for himself, to fix his brother to make sure that his brother gets put back into his original body. And so for that reason, he studied alchemy and he became a state alchemist, becoming a dog of the military, they call him. Just so he can help his brother. And then he finds out about this whole plot and trying to find this philosopher's stone, which by the way does exist. And oh my god. You actually, and you even see this kid grow throughout the series, not just like mentally and stuff like that, but physically. He actually grows throughout the series while he's growing throughout the series.
Yo,
It's
Shog.
kind of insane. Like the attention to detail they bring to Ed is just, it's just fascinating, and every bit of Ed's like character arc is so carefully planned and organized in a way that I don't want to spoil because only Iron and I have watched it.
Yeah, but yeah,
And
you have like
there's a reason why this is considered one of the best anime of all time. Ed literally holds the show together. Not only is his character tragic and deep, but he also provides that comic relief. He's freaking voiced by Vic Mignogna, for crying out loud. Like, Ed is like, Ed deserves this spot. He deserves this spot so much. Like, and like
I really do need to watch this.
Please watch Brotherhood first. Like regular Full Metal Alchemist is good in its own right, but it will not put the same feeling in your system as Brotherhood will.
Brotherhood is also the manga.
Brotherhood is also the manga. Yes.
So what was the first one?
The first one is equal to about half of the series, and then it goes a completely different direction.
Yeah, it's not to say that it's bad. It just doesn't follow the source material and doesn't necessarily hold up well. And then Brotherhood came out, and it's just.
Oh. I think remember what we said about Hohenheim and how he's very important.
Yeah.
That I don't think that really gets.
Oh my god.
In the regular one.
Oh no, that's not good.
Hohenheim is actually so good.
It's
the whole you have the whole Elric family on your list.
Really, yeah, bro. The Elric family is amazing. Like if I had to pick a few other characters from Full Metal Alchemist to put on like the honorable mentions list, if I could fit them, it would definitely be Roy Mustang, Scar,
oh yeah, Scar's
Pride. Pride is insane. The Truth.
No Greedling?
Greed is okay. Ling is fine, but like
they're
cool
one
and all.
stick.
It's just like it's literally I think Ling is just kind of there to be like this bipolar guy.
Also, Greed doesn't really have the biggest screen time, so
Wrath is actually very, very nice. Good character.
Yeah, I can respect this. I can respect Edward being first because I've literally heard nothing but good things about
Envy though.
It's weird because like it's kind of like One Piece for something so popular. I hardly ever hear anybody talking bad about it. It's kind of like an anomaly.
Yeah, because there's not really much bad to talk about. This series is like borderline perfect.
Yeah, even side characters get shit to do. Like no character ever feels like they're out of place.
Yeah, it's true. Like everyone has their own like niche in the show.
Yeah, like if the most useless ass side character that you wouldn't think would do shit, they have their moment. They are important and they are valuable as to the team or the respective group that they're on in the respective point of time. It's amazing how everything just works, fits together. Amazing. Watch it.
Just large breath.
Yeah, no, seriously, if you could do yourself a favor, please watch Full Metal Alchemist.
It is on the list.
Okay.
I watched it in
I should make a list of things I should watch.
I watched it like
eventually
within 5 days.
Anime list is really good. Use it.
Also, I'm so lucky that it has probably like I don't know how that is. This series probably has one of the best, actually the best German anime dub that I've ever listened to, which is which is an achievement which is an achievement because German dubs are actually very, very good for the most part. But For Metal Alchemist, they just blew it completely out of the water with the emotions. Okay, some of the crying scenes were a little bit memey, but
Bro, that face.
when you have Edward
I
and
remember this scene.
I mean, okay, when you have Edward, you just hear him cry, ah, scheiße, and I just hear you like I can't because friends mean that, but watch it, it's fucking, god, amazing.
We'll do. We'll freaking do.
It's also in like all bias for the other anime dumb shown in the side. It's in my top 3 for a reason.
Dude, like the shit that this character has to go through to get what he like really wants to rectify what he did wrong. The lengths he has to go to even accomplish what he wants to do is just so breathtaking that he has the stride, like the unyielding fortitude to do it. Like most people would have given up. No, not him.
Love that gift.
Okay, but now for the real best character in Full Metal Alchemist.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. Get this shithead out of my.
You did not. You did not.
Do you actually have like
And that
a
is-
number 0 like Maka does, or like this is the last character?
I do not have a number 0. Ed is pretty much the best character on my list. I mean, like if I was gonna like meme, I would have left Sinbad out and made him number 0. But I wanted to be fair to the list. There really isn't.
Sinbad is definitely the most badass character on the list, but
Sinbad, yeah, 100%. But no, I definitely feel like Ed deserves that number 1 spot. Just he's
Bro,
such
this
a
list is
well he bro he is
stacked.
I'm pretty sure he's a perfectly crafted character. Like
Yep.
it's very hard to find flaws.
Also, on that note, Full Metal Alchemist written by a woman. Worth
Yes.
to note.
Yes.
yeah, brother.
Yeah. So is
Yeah.
Magi. So is Magi. Look how badass Sinbad is.
Look how
That is a premium
deep-
thirst.
look how deep and good.
This is an
things can go.
extreme thirst.
Murata drawing man. This is an extreme thirst. Murata drawing women. This is an extreme thirst.
Murata drawing.
Murata.
Just Murata.
That is the
M.
list.
M.
Yeah, this is a pretty good list. I don't know why
Did
you're.
how did someone end up putting Light higher than me? The heck?
Wait, where was Light? Number 3?
Yeah, Light was my 3.
Usopp in fucking 14 still gets me.
Nice.
Bro, my list is like nowhere near as interesting as this.
Bro. Do you
That'll
want
be
to
fine.
my list is literally just me being I like this character.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, but
I'm actually
have-
happy that I got the defense on the Naruto placement because I felt that I was gonna get a little flack for that. But like I'm pretty happy that Maka got my back on that one because
He's nowhere near my
Okay.
favorite Naruto character, but
yeah, because Madara is in the top 10 because he's fucking busted, dude. Oh yeah, wait. Going back to Ed for 1 second. This guy is an actual genius. You notice that's a kind of a theme around my list. These guys are actually geniuses.
Yeah.
Big brain is kind of what I look for in a character a lot of the times. If not, then like I mean like, but Ed really is a big brain. There's one point.
you kind of have to be an FMA. Like,
Yeah, like there's in the beginning of this series, you could tell he's big brain because he literally pulls out a notebook and first of all, he is arguing about the existence of God right away. Like right off the beginning of the series, he's arguing the
already
existence of
into
God.
some
And then he literally just pulls out a notebook and starts naming percentages of every element that's in the human body. Every single element. And he goes, what I'm saying is that it's impossible to create a new human and that priest guy is lying to you. There is no God. GG no Ri. To this fucking little Rose girl, the poor girl who lost her boyfriend.
It was also way more important than the original quote unquote anime.
Yeah. For real. Like Father, Father whatever his name is. Father what?
Connelly.
Father Cornello. Bitch, on God.
Oh God.
It's not Father, because Father is, you know. He probably has a first name that I just don't know.
No, look, I'm trying to see.
Maybe he's just not in the bot.
Wait, no,
Yes,
wait.
that's yeah.
What the?
Oh,
wait,
wait,
he's not.
hold on a second. Another honorable mention.
Hey, he is not in this. Holy shit.
Honorable mention goes to
Oh,
Alex
yes!
Armstrong.
Hey.
This
wasn't
guy's
like
a
that.
man. This guy is an actual man.
Jit Escanor. But that is not an insult.
If anything, Escanor inspired by Alex.
Yeah, probably.
I can definitely see it.
But yeah, Ed's abilities actually are very, very interesting too, because he can transmute anything without the need of a transmutation circle, because he has one on his gloves. So he's a very aggressive type of fighter where people need to like. Wait, go ahead.
That's half the truth, but yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, well, yeah,
We can't spoil.
can't spoil. He's a very, very quick alchemist considering. But then there's also like other alchemists in the series, like Mustang, who can literally just snap their fingers and
Okay, see,
and
he has
do
a
stuff.
transmutation circle on his hands. He transmutates shit to burst into flames by snapping his fingers.
Yeah. Look up the scene where he burns somebody to death in.
Yep.
You know that one. That is such a good scene. Such a good scene, dude. This guy really can't control his anger, by the way. But you get him wet, and all of a sudden he can't do shit. So, yeah. But anyway, that's the list. What's the time
That's a
stamp?
pretty good list.
3 hours 30 minutes,
Jesus.
and I didn't even take a
Pretty
sip
much
of
the
water
same.
or nothing.
Pretty much the same as the last one.
Omega just wrote once.
Oh, Omega's
Lol.
just chilling. What's good, bro?
Nice. All for coming. This was dope.
Yes, this was really fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad I.
You guys good tomorrow?
Tomorrow I go in late.